Monday Night Football at Bloomington Stadium. A beautiful fall night for football, and we've got the matchup of the year in the city of Bloomington, the Battle of Bloomington. Kennedy's the home team. On the visitor sideline this evening is Jefferson. And it is also Kennedy's homecoming here. Welcome atop our BEC-TV press box alongside former Jaguar and Kennedy coach Stan Shea. I'm Josh Powers. Paul Fournier will join us on the sideline shortly. We'll coach. Both head coaches in this game played for you. What do you think is going on in the minds of Kennedy's John Anderson and Jefferson's Tim Carlson tonight?
First of all, they're tough because they overcame our coaching. That's number one. But I did spend my first 5 years coaching at Kennedy right out of college. Those are great years. And then having John Anderson as a player and Tim Carlson as a player, knowing how hard they work, it's going to be a fun game to watch. And it should be a great game.
Yeah, so much going on tonight. Kennedy's homecoming, Wounded Warrior Project, with which both Kennedy and Jefferson are supporting. And then to top it off, Stan, we don't know when the next time these two teams are going to play on the football field. It's probably going to happen at some point, but it's not going to happen next year. And so with Kennedy moving districts, this has a little bit of added importance tonight.
Exactly. I mean, since 1965, since I've been in Bloomington, we have always played Kennedy. It's going to really be different not to. Kennedy's going into a conference that hopefully will be good for them, and the conferences change every year now to keep them as competitive as they can. They're doing the best they can, and I say good luck to Kennedy going there. It should be interesting, and hopefully they can work it out where the two schools can play each other every year down the road.
All right, it's time now to send it down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Paul Fournier. He'll be on the sidelines all night. Paul, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Josh. Like you said, it is Kennedy's homecoming night, so we will meet the entire royalty at halftime just after their little procession. And you said it's the Wounded Warrior program. It's a great cause that Jefferson's Tim Carlson started. Now both schools, after John left Jefferson and came to Kennedy, they're going to be collecting money at halftime for that cause, which is the Wounded Warrior program. And it's just a great night all around. It is very cool out here and a little bit breezy. Currently it's about 53. It feels about 45. So cold hands might be a little bit of a factor tonight. And I also just learned from Tim Carlson that you will see both quarterbacks from Jefferson, both Norland Rasmussen and Isaiah Watts tonight. It's still to be determined. So in about 13 minutes, we'll find out who is starting for Jefferson. Back up to you guys.
Well, it wouldn't be a Battle of Bloomington without a little bit of drama. As Paul reporting what you saw in the pregame, Isaiah Watts, remember he was injured a few weeks ago. He was taking some snaps. We may see him tonight. That's an added boost for Jefferson to have two capable quarterbacks.
That'd be a big boost for him because he has a little more threat to run and throw. And it's sad to see him get hurt out at Orono in the first game. So it'd be great to see him play. Whether he's at 100%, I don't know, but it was fun to see him on the field warming up. That's going to pick everybody's spirits up, I'm sure, on the team.
Yeah, and he led that game-winning drive against Orono in Week 1. That's the Jaguars' only win so far this season. Let's take a look at the Associated Press top 10 of teams around the Metro through the first half of the season. And Lakeville North continues to impress, Coach, along with Blaine. They are two of very few teams that can call themselves 4-0. Eden Prairie right there at 3-1.
Eden Prairie is going to be a factor before it's over. They came back strong and I believe beat Prior Lake last week or a week or two ago. And, they've slipped once. They're just going to be strong. Lakeville North, they reload every year. They really have a program going. Brian Boston's their head coach, and he and his staff, they just keep winning every year.
You see, interesting, Wayzata, they're 2-2, but they think a lot of them, they've had two very tough losses. They're right there at number 5. Another 2-2 team is still in the top 10. You mentioned Prior Lake losing to Eden Prairie last week. St. Thomas Academy sneaking in at number 10, new to the rankings this week at another 4-0 team.
Now, St. Thomas Academy has Dan O'Brien as a new head coach. He was at the university, former Gopher guy. He was at the university as the director of football operations, and he really has St. Thomas going. Great guy, great coach, and he'll do well there. They've scored a lot of points. I know that.
Let's take a look at games last week in the district. There were 4 of them. First, we'll take a look at the district standings. Waconia, they have been so impressive. We've seen them on BEC-TV the last couple of weeks, and we're glad we don't see them a third week in a row because they beat Kennedy and Jefferson both pretty soundly. It
was interesting to hear your comments because I saw them play. Their defense really plays real well. They're so athletic, and they got a quarterback that makes things happen for them. Otherwise, they are probably not a great offensive machine other than the quarterback makes a lot of plays.
Yeah, and you'll see here one of the Bloomington teams is going to get their first district win of the season tonight. So let's take a look at what happened last week in the district. Orono went into Chaska and won. It was at Orono, but a big win for Orono, 28-13, upending Chaska. You see the two Bloomington scores, Kennedy falling to an undefeated Cooper team who's in the top 10. Game of the week was Benilde and Chanhassen. That went down to the wire with the Storm getting a big win for them to improve to 2-1. And then let's take a look at the last games this week. It'll be, of course, the Battle of Bloomington here. Orono at Waconia. So the Spartans, off that big win, they're going to try to give Waconia their first loss. Chanhassen going out of district to play Hopkins. Same with Chaska and Apple Valley. And then a matchup a lot of our viewers may be interested in, the Battle of Richfield, Holy Angels and Richfield.
The Orono-Chaska score a week ago, I won't say it's a shocker, but it's a surprise. I saw Orono play Jefferson, and they're a good team. Wouldn't rate them a great team, but Chaska, who's done really well, to see Orono win that game is a surprise.
Maybe they can make it two in a row to upend Waconia for the first time. Let's take a look at our key matchup for the night, Coach, and it's the Jefferson wide receivers and the Kennedy defensive backs. Now, not a lot of teams, we'll get to the matchup in a moment. How about our keys to the game? First, Coach, it's always important every week to win the turnover battle, especially in a big game.
Exactly. Jefferson, I believe, the stats I see, we are leading the conference in passing game, which is amazing. Having a hard time running the football as well as they'd like to, but how well Kennedy's pass defense is, I'm not sure. Haven't seen them play. You have. That'll be a key, and turnovers always are a key.
And both teams, that has been a problem for them this season. So whichever team can limit the turnovers will have a good chance of winning. Key to the game number 2, limit those offensive mistakes. It could be a turnover. It might be a big penalty. Those offensive mistakes is something that has also hurt these teams at times this year.
Stay away from fumbles, stay away from pass interceptions, and just general mistakes. Offensively, it's so easy to make mistakes. Have everybody on the same page. It'll be interesting to see who wins the battle in that area.
And you've coached many of this rivalry game, Coach. It's always emotions can play a key. Our key number 3, play with controlled emotion.
There have been games where we would come into it so high and walk on the field and just like a balloon going dead. You lose it, and it's just amazing how that can go. This is a big game for both teams, and they've been looking forward to all year, a chance to claim bragging rights in Bloomington. So, yeah, emotion is a big factor. You want to be emotional about it and up, but not to a point where you're making mistakes because of it, you know?
Well, we touched on our key matchup already, so let's focus on some players to watch in this game. Now, we're going to highlight 2 of them for each team, but obviously there's many more than that. But these are a couple of players on each side to watch. Let's start on the Kennedy side. They are the home team tonight. Their quarterback, Jeffrey McDonald, Coach, we're going to see him. We might see Robert Turnbull, too, at quarterback, but McDonald, he can do some things with his legs that we saw earlier this year, so that can be a problem when you're facing a guy that can make things happen from the quarterback position on the ground.
Well, last week, Waconia's quarterback definitely was a factor in the game. Jefferson had a hard time containing him. He made a lot of big plays. So if John Anderson can have their quarterback moving well, that will put a stress on Jefferson's defense for sure.
And Kennedy's defense has been very stout this year. One of the guys, we know about Kofi Beckley on the defensive line, but he's got literally a best friend up front who does some pretty good things too. There you see the size of big number 42, Joe Draves. He's going to be in the Jefferson backfield tonight.
I'm anxious to see them. You saw the game. You've told me about it, and against Waconia, I believe, Waconia maybe didn't get much more than 100 total yards of actual game time. And Jefferson has had trouble running the football, so it'll be Kennedy's defense probably. How well they can shut down a passing game of that at Jefferson will be a key in the game for sure.
Then on the Jefferson side, we already heard that Isaiah Watts might play, but how about their other quarterback, Nolan Rasmussen? You said, Coach, Jefferson leading the district in passing yards, and he's a big reason why.
Nolan has stepped in and done so well. He's a senior. He's been back up to Isaiah for 3 years, and it was fun to see him get in and do really well. He was mentally ready to go. There's no doubt about it. He's a student of the game, a smart young man, and respected by his team. It was fun to see him play and do well.
And our final player to watch on the defensive side for Jefferson, linebacker Tyler Nelson. He's a guy that can really make some plays for the Jaguars.
He's all over the field, and it'll be a key for him tonight to help stop that running game at Kennedy's. Hopefully they can do that, and we'll see.
Should be a great battle of Bloomington. We'll take a short break, meet the starting lineups for both teams, and have the opening kickoff, the Battle of Bloomington, Kennedy and Jefferson on BEC-TV.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Back on the pregame, send it down to our national anthem.
All right, here we go, the Battle of Bloomington. The visiting Jefferson Jaguars taking on the home team Kennedy Eagles. Let's meet the starting lineups for both teams, and both teams have elected to introduce their starting defensive units. For the Jaguars, we'll begin with senior cornerback number 1, Justin Seal. Next, we have senior linebacker number 9, C.J. Hayes. Senior linebacker, number 11, Ben Eisworth. Junior free safety, number 14, Matt Thompson. Senior linebacker, number 15, Tyler Nelson. Junior linebacker, number 16, Hunter Burgess. Senior corner, number 23, Elliot Sambogaro. Junior defensive end, number 37, Pierce Opong. Senior nose tackle, number 67, Zach. Senior defensive end, number 69, Nick Martindale. And senior number 86 at linebacker, Caden Osmondson. That's number 67 is Zach Snurr. The head coach for the Jaguars is Tim Carlson. All right, let's meet the defensive unit for the Kennedy Eagles. We begin with number 1, junior safety, Eric Dooms. Next, senior corner, number 7, William Peterson. Senior defensive end, number 8, Connor Lynch. Junior corner, number 10, Avante Monroe. Senior linebacker, number 18, Eric Aviles Rizzo. Senior safety, number 23, Santiago Ortiz. Senior linebacker, number 28, Terrell Davis Barber. Sophomore linebacker, number 34, Dion Barber. Senior defensive tackle, number 42, Joseph Draves. Senior defensive end, number 50, Arnold Idri. And senior defensive tackle, number 77, Kofi Beckley. The head coach for the Eagles is John Anderson. Our officials for tonight's game are Brent Dack as the referee. The umpire is Seamus McGivern. The head linesman is Phil Ayeni. The line judge is Kelly Turnus. And the back judge is Kelly Banyai. Ladies and gentlemen, at halftime tonight, we're going to have a performance by the Kennedy Collegians.
Well, we're just about ready for the Battle of Bloomington. Couldn't be a better night, Coach. You look at the stands; they're going to be mostly full on both sides. You've got the, you can see the visiting side with the red, white, and blue patriotic support for the Wounded Warrior Project tonight. On the Jaguar side, just going to be an outstanding event for the city of Bloomington, and it should be a very competitive game to boot.
Yeah, and these young men have known each other coming up through BAA. They've been playing together a long time, against each other a long time. They've done great things for Wounded Warriors. I know that over the years raised a lot of money.
Yeah, tens of thousands of dollars raised by both football programs, and we hope to continue that in a positive way tonight. It looks like Kennedy will receive the opening kickoff. Jefferson will kick off tonight. The Jaguars in the road white with the Columbia blue trim. Kennedy in the home gray. Not an official school color, but it looks pretty darn good. And they've got the black, gold, and white trim. They got all the colors going tonight.
Everybody's wearing gray now. The Gophers wear gray for a home
that's
color.
Like the new default uniform
is.
color for
Yeah.
every college and high school team.
It looks good.
It does. It's that military, like slate gray color, and Kennedy's gone to that this year. Sherwood back deep, as well as for the Eagles, Theo Simmons. And John Halaska is back, kicking for the Jaguars, and he gets the Battle of Bloomington underway as the kickoff takes a hop, skip, and a jump, and is picked up by Simmons as he stretches out laterally and has enough speed to get around the corner at least to make a decent return out of it, as Kennedy will start close to the 20-yard line, and out comes their senior quarterback, number 2, Jeffrey McDonald. And the rushing game will be key for Kennedy tonight. If they've got some outstanding backs, if they can get some holes for them, we're talking about Terrell Barber and Theo Simmons, that will help out a Kennedy run game that has struggled at times this year. And it's Barber as well as Connor Lynch in the backfield for Kennedy, number 8, kind of an H-back for this Eagle offense. And it's Barber with the first carry, and Terrell Barber, big hole, and Barber with the speed across midfield, all the way down inside the 35.
It's a great job by Kennedy's offensive line. There was a huge hole there.
We said these backs are outstanding if they can get holes, and Barber did. It's a 48-yard gain on the first play of the game.
Impressive start for Kennedy's offense.
I'd say so. That might be, well, it's not quite their longest play of the season, but it's one of their longest. Good patience there by Barber, and then you see his acceleration. Looked like Sam Bugaro made the touchdown-saving tackle. So Kennedy threatening very early here in the battle. And getting abreast is Barber, so they bring in Theo Simmons, and a flag before this play gets started, thrown by the back judge, usually an indication of a delay of game. And that's exactly what it is. First penalty of the game.
You know, Josh, one thing I saw at Orono, they have a 25-second clock in each end zone.
Yep.
Really not that big an expense, I'm sure, but for the quarterbacks to see where they're at on that time clock, I'd not seen that before the high school game. It'd be nice to have that here in Bloomington
It would
Stadium.
be. Time is kept by the officials on the field, the play clock. So 1st and 15 for Kennedy. Barber back in. Here's his second carry. Has a little bit of an alleyway, and he's pushed back once he reaches the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 2. And that penalty just kind of takes a little bit of the steam out of that 48-yard play on the first play of the game.
It sure does.
See Kofi Beckley and Joe Draves. They're the dynamic duo on the defensive line. They were on the offensive line there for the first couple of plays. Now they come out.
You put those two side by side, and they create problems.
Yeah, that is some beef and muscle. Draves goes 271, Beckley 270. Interesting, they give Draves the extra pound there over his over his friend. 2nd and 13 for the Eagles. And we've got a timeout taken by John Anderson. You know him well. He's a Jaguar grad. He played for you in the mid-'90s and was part of Tim Carlson's coaching staff before taking the reins over at Kennedy High School. And now he's not only the head coach, he's the athletics and activities director.
He's doing it all, and he's very capable. A very, very good high school football player, and the kind of guy you want to see coaching kids. Great with young people.
Well, to speak of that, all that responsibility, and he's a new dad, 6-month-old daughter,
right.
Born in April.
That's right.
So he's got a lot going on in the fall.
I've been at some of their practices over the years, and you know what? Always upbeat, and John just does a great job.
Opening couple of minutes here in the Battle of Bloomington. Big 48-yard run from Terrell Barber has gotten Kennedy off to a good first start on their first drive. 4 wide receivers for the Eagles here on 2nd and 13. And now Simmons splits out wide. And getting crushed is McDonald, and I don't know how he hung on to the football, but
that's
he did.
Opong.
And that's Pierce Opong making his first big play. I think they wanted to get it to Simmons out of the backfield. They didn't even have time. Watch 72. And I think maybe Kennedy didn't know the play had started there. Their offensive lineman didn't really move.
Very quick throw. Opong he's done that all year. He stands out.
A loss of 5, and McDonald has to be helped to the sideline as Robert Turnbull comes in. The backup, but he's played a fair amount this year, so no surprise. We expected to see him at times tonight anyway. And he comes in facing a tough situation, 3rd and 18. And some miscommunication in the backfield. Turnbull goes down. And that's Quentin Morris getting the sack. So the Eagles go in reverse after the big play, and they're going to be forced to punt.
2 big plays by Jefferson's defense. Morris is one of the captains, and he's a hustle player all the time.
Goes about 5'6" and a $150, but he chases down Turnbull. So we mentioned one of our keys, limit offensive mistakes, and it doesn't always have to be a turnover, Coach. What you saw in that drive, you had a penalty, some miscommunication on the offensive line where they didn't start the play, and then miscommunication in the backfield on third down.
That takes away a lot of momentum.
Back to punt is Santos Ortiz. We'll see him at halftime. He's going to take off, and he's got a lot of room, but he's got a long way to go. Ortiz is going to be short of the first down. Picked up a bunch. An interesting call on 4th and 30. You wonder if that's a play where Coach says if you see something, go for it, because who would call a fake on 4th and 30?
Obviously, a scouting report thing, and the net result is probably about as good as a punt. And
Yeah,
a chance to break it. It was a great play.
Matt Thompson made the first down saving tackle, possibly touchdown saving tackle. A gain of 25. So you mentioned that's not much more different than a punt and a possible return could have been. And it was exciting to add a little bit of flair to our night. Here's Morris on an end around on Jefferson's first offensive play from scrimmage. Running away from those big interior linemen, and Morris picks up 8.
Pretty well blocked. Nolan Rasmussen at quarterback.
We might see Isaiah Watson. I'm sure this is one of their plans. You got big 77 and 42 in the middle, so you run out wide. Try to limit their involvement. 2nd and 2. Play action looked like maybe a busted play, but Rasmussen, some quick thinking to dive ahead. A gain of 3 in the first Jefferson first down of the night.
Missed the beginning of that. Was it a mistake or it was a
It
quick,
looked like the back
bootleg?
went the wrong way. You'll see it here on the replay as Jefferson goes quickly. And of course, he's not one of our players to watch, Coach, but you have to know Kennedy's got their eye on number 3 in white. Manny Montgomery's just had an outstanding season.
That's where big plays go.
He's wide to the top of your screen on 1st and 10. Inside handoff to Roosevelt Cage, and he goes nowhere. He's wrapped up for a loss. Draves was there, as was Beckley for Kennedy, loss of 2.
Those 2 up front in the middle, they're not only strong, they're quick and they're athletic.
Kofi Beckley is extremely, not that Joe Draves isn't, he's been playing offense his entire career as a fullback, and boy, watch the 2 push up front. Just a 3 down front for Kennedy, but you got those 2 guys in the middle. 2nd and 12. Rasmussen under pressure over the middle and incomplete. He was being harassed once again by Beckley. And now 3rd and long for the Jaguars. So we mentioned our key matchup, the Kennedy secondary versus those Jaguar wide receivers. One thing that'll help them is if their quarterbacks are under duress all night, like on that 2nd down play.
That is totally correct.
So 3rd and 12, Rasmussen over the middle, deep ball, tipped and incomplete. It was nearly intercepted by Ortiz. If it was a little bit more on target, he probably would have came away with the pick. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well played by Kennedy's secondary.
Ortiz is one of those ball hawking safeties, and if he can play coverage like that where he's got the whole field in front of him, that's what you're looking for from a safety spot.
You put a good athlete back there who can read, and he can go all over.
2 return men back deep for Kennedy awaiting the punt, and it's a pretty good one. And they're going to let this bounce with a flag down on the sidelines, and this will roll all the way to the 11-yard line. So a nice punt there by John Halaska. That's a 52-yard punt for Mr. Halaska.
And a good spiral the whole way.
Yeah,
it was well hit. They missed him last week a lot.
Not that
On Kennedy. That is their first.
It looks like a sideline warning. And, not that Pierce Opong is a bad athlete or anything. He did okay he was fine kicking, but he's not a kicker, and it's nice to get an experienced kicker like Halaska back in there.
He hadn't kicked all year. That's a big change, and as a coach, you worry about that a lot. Alaska, you know what you have there. He's just so steady and skilled.
So Kennedy's second possession, McDonald back in there after taking that big hit on the sack, and they'll throw it out wide to Barber. Nick Martindale getting out there quickly for Jefferson to string that play out, and it looks like no gain on first down. Nice job by number 69 in white.
Good pursuit by Jefferson's defense.
Osmondson was also in there.
Martindale's made a lot of big plays all year long.
He's kind of one of those unsung guys. We talk a lot about guys like C.J. Hayes up front and Pierce Opong, but 69 is right there. He's solid as well for Jefferson.
Yeah, he's there every day.
So 2nd and 10 for Kennedy from the 11. Simmons in the backfield. Now he sprints out wide again. McDonald will try to throw it to him, and it's way over his head. It's definitely a forward pass, and it'll be 3rd down. McDonald, a guy for Kennedy, doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, so they try to get the ball in the passing game out of his hands using those short routes as much as possible.
Short throws he's probably very good at. That was very close to being a backward pass, which would have been a problem.
So now 3rd and 10 for Kennedy. Barber back in there. And McDonald flushed out of the pocket looking to run, being chased down, and he takes a big hit on the sideline. Out of bounds, he'll pick up a couple. It'll be 4th down. Opong was over there, as was Quentin Morris for Jefferson. They'll give him a pretty good spot. He's going to say McDonald picked up 5, but it's still 4th down and 5. So back to kick Santos Ortiz, and should be good field position for Jefferson. That's why that punt from Halaska was such a big deal, because Matt Thompson is standing at midfield. Ortiz this time will elect to kick, and it's a high kick. Thompson from the 48, and he's hit immediately, falls forward to the 44-yard line. 32-yard punt, 4-yard return as we're under 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Jefferson will have its second possession. But you talk about flipping the field, Coach. That's what that punt did. Jefferson started their first possession inside their own 30. They exchanged punts, and now they have it in plus territory.
Amazing, amazing.
And who is under center here on the second drive? It's Nolan. We were told we may see Isaiah Watts tonight. So far through 2 possessions, it's been the senior Rasmussen. 4 wide receivers. He bobbles the snap, picks it up, chucks it deep. He's got a wide open man, and it's overthrown. A busted coverage for Kennedy, as I think it was Quentin Morris got behind the defense, but the throw was too far.
Bobbling the snap like that will fool every secondary. It was a great reaction by Nolan Rasmussen to pick it up and throw it that deep, and he almost completed it. Kennedy's secondary, I think, relaxed completely because the ball was on the ground, and Rasmussen made a great play.
It's kind of acted almost like a fumble-rooski.
Yep.
So the Eagles dodge a bullet there. Here's 2nd and 10, empty backfield. Rasmussen stepping up. He'll throw far side, and it is tipped and almost intercepted.
That's amazing. Jefferson is trips to the right, to this side, and they still got 2 defensive backs on that coverage on Manny on the backside. Great coverage by Kennedy's secondary.
Eric Dooms and Eric Aviles Rizzo were both there for Kennedy, and both could have potentially had that interception. So Rasmussen, a tough start. He's 0 for 3 passing. Here's 3rd and 10. Pump fake under pressure and sacked, and the ball comes out, picked up by Kennedy. And it's William Peterson on the recovery for the Eagles, the game's first turnover.
When you mention mistakes, Josh, we're seeing some tonight in a hurry here.
Let's see who came in there to get the strip sack for Kennedy. Peterson, number 7, with the recovery. Big play Eagle defense. They've been doing this all year long. And it was Joe Draves who poked it out off an initial blitz pressure from up the middle. So the Eagles at midfield on their third drive. Read option, keeping it McDonald as Theo Simmons was covered up, and Jefferson played that one perfectly.
Very well played by Osmondson.
Caden Osmondson right there for Jefferson. The Eagles sideline upbeat after that turnover. But aside from that first play from scrimmage, the 48-yard run, Jefferson's defense has stood tall. Motioning it out of the backfield, Barber. McDonald, the quick out, and this one is a backward pass. Was the signal, I think, from the official on the Kennedy sideline. He pointed back toward the Eagle end zone, but the official closer to the play blew it dead for an incomplete forward pass, so it'll be third down.
All of those throws are very, very near going backward, and that's scary offensively. That the ball gets on the ground, it could be taken by anybody.
So 3rd and 11 for Kennedy. Line to gain is the Jaguar 40. Split wide to this side is Jake Houston, the young sophomore wide receiver. Jefferson showing blitz, here they come. McDonald flushed out of the pocket, showing you some speed. Does he have enough room to work with? Not quite. He's bumped out of bounds. Let's see where they spot him. It'll be right at the 45-yard line. 4th and 4 upcoming as we send it down quickly to Paul Fournier. Paul.
Thanks, Josh. There's an electricity here on the Kennedy sideline tonight, something that you haven't seen a lot coming from the Kennedy sidelines, but it's there. They've been pumped up. They're jumping around, maybe just trying to stay warm, but they're all into the game. They're not messing around or anything. They're all focused, and they all want one thing, and that's a Kennedy victory tonight. Back up to you.
How about, thanks, Paul. How about this, Coach? Kennedy going for it on 4th and 5 from the 45-yard line. Big play on offense. They hand it to Barber, and Jefferson's going to take over. Nick Martindale wraps him up for no gain. So an interesting gamble there. You could have punted it, maybe tried to pin Jefferson deep. Eagles getting aggressive there. Credit the Jaguar defense following that turnover. They stand tall.
Martindale with a big play again. The front three for Jefferson's playing well physically up front.
Both fronts have been formidable here in this game. That's why we're still scoreless. Late stages, first quarter, Roosevelt Cage with a flag down. And he is down at the 49.
Isaiah Watts on the field.
You're right, he is out there. This appears to be in the area of holding. And it's our first penalty for Jefferson tonight. And Isaiah Watts, he was injured in the fourth quarter against Orono, led the Jaguars on a game-winning drive. The Jaguars scored with under 2 minutes left on that drive.
Number 71 on the offense.
It's good to see him back on
From
the
the spot of the foul.
And
that spots the ball at the Jaguar 34-yard line.
Orono defenders did not want any part of trying to tackle number 5 for the Jaguars.
Put Isaiah Watts in a broken field, and he does well.
He will throw for the first time in a few weeks, and it is short and incomplete. It'll be second down and long, intended for Quentin Morris. So far, Jaguar quarterbacks in this one 0 for 4. Very unlike them. Jefferson completing at more than 50% this season.
They've been high percentage all year.
leading the district in passing yards. 2nd and 22. Watts to throw, and we've got more flags, and this one looks like
On
it's
the field.
going to back them up even more.
You bringing up that mistakes, Josh, is the reason for all this.
A fall. Number 3, yard penalty. The next play is 2nd down.
Well, we saw this on one of Kennedy's drives with the mental mistakes.
Yep.
And now Jefferson, 2nd and 27. You don't get to a 2nd and 27 without a mistake on offense. You don't just scheme a 17-yard loss somewhere in there on defense.
You're right on that.
Here's an inside trap to Roosevelt, and he's got some running room. He'll get some of the penalty yardage back as he's pushed out at the 40.
Kind of a delayed draw. Nice run by Cage and a good gain. Now we're in possible range.
Yeah,
3rd and 15.
Roosevelt picking up 12 there. Correction, 11 to make it 3rd and 16. Jefferson needs to take it to the Eagle 44. Watts has that big arm. Maybe show it off here. Manny Montgomery without a catch so far in this one. Watts has plenty of time, heaves it up for Manny. A jump ball, and it's intercepted. And it's William Peterson again. Correction, Santos Ortiz came down with a pick. Peterson was right there as well. 2nd turnover forced by the Eagle defense.
Nice play by their safety. Well covered. Played the ball in the air really well.
And they were actually not throwing to Manny, they were throwing to Newton Ombangi. Ortiz has almost had a couple of interceptions already tonight, and he was able to take advantage of this one. Get a good shot of it here. As you see Peterson right there as well, clearly feet are in bounds. The only good thing for Jefferson is it's kind of almost a punt right there.
About the same.
So not a disastrous turnover as the Eagles get it back and pick up a couple on 1st down. Terrell Barber.
You can see Barber, when he touches the ball, you better have people there because he can bust it. That opening run was fun to see.
52 yards here in the 1st quarter for Barber on the ground. 2:40 remaining. We've had a lot going on in this 1st quarter, but no points to show for it up for either team. Barber making some people miss in a phone booth right there just to pick up 2. Option. McDonald has to cut it back thanks to Caden Osmondson, and he's brought down for no gain.
Looks like Kennedy's almost in an unbalanced line. That presents some problems for the defense.
And you got to love how Caden played this, coach, because he made McDonald cut it back, and he effectively took away the pitch option on that play as well.
It's how you play option well.
Watch 86 flash into your screen here. It's good team defense by Caden. 3rd and 8 for the Eagles. McDonald pitches it out wide, and it's Barber stretching toward the 40. He's going to be a couple yards short. They needed to take it to the 42. It's a 6-yard gain, but it's 4th and 2. And Kennedy will likely punt here with under 90 seconds left in the 1st quarter.
They've surprised us a couple times already here, so you never know for sure.
I don't want to speak too soon. I don't see any specialty teams players coming in on the field. Theo Simmons made his way to the huddle and now back. We might see a Kennedy timeout here. John Anderson walking toward the sideline judge. And I think he's going to call an Eagle timeout. It would be their 2nd timeout of the 1st quarter. As Kennedy hustles to the line of scrimmage. Here's the 3rd down play, coach. Pierce Opong bringing down
The Eagles take timeout.
Terrell
That
Barber.
gives us an opportunity.
Would you go for it here, coach, on 4th and 2 on your own 40?
Depend a lot on the scouting report. Normally, no. Normally, no.
who knows, you might go up there and you line up and see if you can draw them off sides too.
There are times in the scouting reports where you'll see defensive backs maybe turn their backs and run like in the punting game. And if you do that and you see it, you can run them and follow them down the field. You see that happen once in a while.
Well, we saw Kennedy fake a punt, and they got about 25 yards off of it. Normally that would get you a first down. The problem for Kennedy was it was 4th and 30. So
a good tackle by Thompson to prevent the touchdown.
We have had good tackling in this game. You'd expect that from these defenses. And Kennedy lining up to go for it here in their own territory. 4th and 2.
Strong right with a lot of beef on that right side.
McDonald hands it off to Barber, and Barber has the first down. What a call there from John Anderson, and the Eagles keep the drive alive.
Ran away from all the power.
Got enough of a block there from Theo as Barber comes off. 6 carries, 63 yards for Barber here already tonight. Actually, Simmons didn't really pick up a block. He was over there. That was all Barber sticking his foot in the ground and making sure he got 3 yards. Fresh set for Kennedy from the 43-yard line. McDonald to Simmons. And he ran into the back of his own offensive lineman and then fell right at the line of scrimmage. And he fumbled the exchange. He is lucky to get that back. Very lucky.
I did not see that first time around.
It looked like something was happening, but we were blocked off by the Jaguar defensive line. And Kennedy lucky that did not take any sort of a hop either way. That kind of just stuck dead right there in the turf, and Simmons quickly picked it up. Well, it's an eventful first quarter. We've had fake punts, we've had 2 turnovers, some big hits, and no score to show at the end of quarter number 1. Down to Paul Fournier. Paul.
Thanks, guys. One of the groups that has both Kennedy and Jefferson participants in it here tonight are the Colleens. I have 3 captains. Unfortunately for Jefferson, they're all Kennedy side, which they like because it's a Kennedy home game. I have them introduce themselves real quick.
I'm Erin Dubry. I'm Sonoma Lejnes. I'm Naya Adams.
Now, every week you guys come out and do a different routine. How long does it take to come up with those routines?
Typically it takes us about a week to work on it. We work pretty hard, so yeah.
If somebody wanted to get involved with the Colleens, what would they want to do?
Go, boys! What do they want to do?
How would they do that?
Oh, you just come to our tryouts. We're really open about, we accept pretty much everyone. Just come, try, and you get on the team.
And because you guys are all Kennedy folk, anything you want to let the team know real quick?
Go Eagles! Yeah!
All right, Josh, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Paul. We had both Aaron and Naya on Inside Kennedy Football a couple weeks ago. They said, Stan, they both joined I asked them, why did you join the Colleens? They said, both of them said, because my friends were already on the team. So a little peer pressure doesn't always mean bad decisions, Coach. Sometimes it leads you on the right path.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
2nd and 10. Kennedy completes it to the young wideout, 84, Jake Houston. Nice throw here from McDonald.
Good throw, good catch, good gain. Oftentimes, kids will come out for sports because their buddies are out there, and a lot of times friends will recruit friends because they know there's some talent there and they want them out.
3rd down and 4 for Kennedy. Remember, this drive has already featured a 4th down conversion. McDonald pitches it to Simmons, gets a couple of nice blocks on the edge, and he's very close to the marker. I think he's got a first down, and he does at the 45-yard line of the Jaguars.
Simmons is quick.
Kind of a slow developing play here, Coach, but watch the blocking on the edge.
They run lateral a long ways. There's 2 big blocks out in front.
Draves and Lynch on a combo block. And a gain of 6 for Theo Simmons. He's the younger brother of Max Simmons, the running back for Minnesota State. Or correction, Southwest Minnesota State. So this time-consuming Kennedy drive has reached Jefferson territory at the 45, early second quarter. McDonald with trips to the top of your screen. Swings it out wide to Barber. This one on target. Barber trying to get to the corner. Stutter step move, now turns it upfield. He's inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Nice gain on first down, Coach. These last couple of throws for Kennedy, that's what they're looking for. They don't need the 40-yard home runs. They're getting 5-6 yards. That helps them up tremendously on offense.
It puts Barber out into open air right now, and you give him an open field with some room, and that's scary for Jefferson's defense.
McDonald is 3 out of 6 passing here in the first half. 10.5 minutes left, second quarter. Simmons in the backfield. They just keep rotating these backs. He did a nice job to jump out of a tackle as they push him toward the first down. Going to be very close.
I think they're signaling first down.
This is an impressive Kennedy march here. Early second quarter trying to take the lead.
You can tell both teams know each other well. John Anderson does a number of things here on fourth down, and that usually is some scouting report and tendencies.
This has been part of the area of offense for Kennedy that they haven't been able to put together are these consistent drives. We've seen a couple of them over the course of the year. You talk about that opening drive in the game against Cooper, but now we're seeing it here as we have a flag down. On first
Jeffrey
down,
McDonald, the ball carrier.
McDonald
there is a penalty flag on the
keeps it
field.
for a gain of 2. We'll check the flag.
Tackle was made by number 50.
An illegal shift on Kennedy.
Interesting play call. They've run the flare pass several times here already to Barber. Now he fakes it, and quarterback McDonald, a good running back, runs the other way. That tests Jefferson's defense.
So Jefferson accepts the penalty, first and 15.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Stick around at halftime. We'll have Kennedy's homecoming coronation. The ceremony will meet all of the class representatives, including the king and queen. Out of the backfield. And a risky throw here to Simmons, and they're going to quickly rule that incomplete. Wow, that was extremely close.
And that's a lateral. It's a high, big chance of a lot of things going wrong in that.
Simmons did pick that up alertly on a bounce, kind of short hop that one.
Yep.
As Barber runs in now. Boy, that good look on a camera. That was too close to tell if that was forward or backward.
It was very close.
Saved about 5 yards, being ruled incomplete versus a lateral. 2nd and 15. They fake the pass. McDonald tries to explore up the middle, and he is able to advance it to the 39-yard line. So
they're running trips this way, so Jefferson's defense got to honor those bodies out here and then fake the throw and run back with a little draw play of the quarterback. There's a lot of air out there and not a lot of Jefferson bodies, so it's a scary play.
Nice tackle there by Ben Eisworth. Solid senior linebacker for the Jaguars. That linebacking core is very solid. C.J. Hayes, Ben Eisworth, Tyler Nelson, Hunter Burgess. 3rd and 14 for Kennedy. They don't have to get all of it here. If they can get a good chunk, they could go for it on 4th. And Kennedy has used its final timeout here in the first half with under 9 minutes remaining in the half.
I think Kennedy saw something they didn't like with Jefferson's defense and wanted to make a change.
Battle of Bloomington, and so far, statistically, Kennedy has dominated this game. They have the only 2 turnovers of the game. They have limited Jefferson to under 20 yards of total offense here in the first half without a completion. Remember, Jefferson leads the district in passing yards, and they have 0 for them through a quarter and a half tonight. So you have to be impressed, as we always are week to week, with this Kennedy defense, but they're doing it again tonight.
They're getting pressure on the quarterback, and their secondary's played awfully well. Is it Ortiz, the free safety?
Yep.
He has made some big plays. He's a great athlete back there.
Yeah, we've seen that for a few years now. 23 for Kennedy. So 3rd and 14. Can the Eagles convert a big 3rd and long here? Out of the backfield, Barber. McDonald wants the deep ball for Houston in double coverage. And he could not quite make the catch. Incomplete. That was nearing triple coverage down there.
Fake did a pump to the flare man and then went deep, hoping to fool Jefferson's secondary. Jefferson's secondary played it well.
We'll see here. There's he kind of looked to Barber, then a little pump fake. Yep. Double coverage, and I thought for a second he caught it, but you can see clearly incomplete. And Kennedy had gone for it already once here on 4th down, but this one too far to go, 4th and 14. So Ortiz is back there to, we think, kick it away. Matt Thompson standing at his 11-yard line. High snap, Ortiz gets it away. It's a twisting kick toward the sidelines. And it'll take a nice Kennedy bounce inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
High snap, a good job by Ortiz getting the punt off.
25-yard punt, no return. But at least Kennedy was able to move their way down the field, and now Jefferson has a very long field to go.
Field position is swinging back and forth in the major league way so far.
And who is under center for Jefferson is the question. And it's Isaiah again for the 2nd straight series. So Nolan played the first 2 series. Now Isaiah has played the last 2. Roosevelt Cage lines up behind him. 1st and 10 from the 14. The handoff is to Roosevelt. He breaks a tackle, gets up the middle, and rumbles for a 1st down. He's across the 25 to the 26-yard line. The biggest running play for Jefferson tonight, gain of 12.
Roosevelt's running harder every week. Against Waukoni, he had a couple good runs. You can see him growing up here.
Of course, he's filling in for his older brother, Rashawn Cage, who is out with an injury. Back to Roosevelt. Look at this hole up the middle. And the big sophomore works his way close to midfield.
There's some great blocking going on up front by Jefferson's offensive line. They've created 2 nice holes in a row here.
24-yard gain for Roosevelt.
Looks like it might be a trap.
Eric Dooms wrestled him down. So the Jaguar offense finally showing some signs of positivity here in this one. Roosevelt again. Cuts it back to the outside and picks up 4 on 1st down.
5-yard gain, yeah, 4-yard gain, mostly Roosevelt with a good run.
That time no gap up the middle, so he bounces it to the edge. Jefferson working tempo here. Still without a completion midway through the 2nd quarter. They're trying to change that now. And it's dropped by Morris. A good throw from Isaiah to fit it in before Dion Barber, the linebacker, could get there, but Morris couldn't hang on.
The timing was excellent. You know, he hit him right on the break in the seam. I'd like to catch that one, and well executed play by Jefferson. Just couldn't come up with the catch.
So now 3rd down and 6. Watts will sling it up the seam, and it's nearly intercepted. Terrell Barber played that perfectly. Got his head around and everything, and I think Morris had to kind of break that one up.
Morris became a defensive back at the end there to prevent the interception.
So our key matchup tonight, this Eagles secondary. Maybe we're seeing why nobody throws on these guys this year.
So far, they're impressive.
So punting time for Jefferson, John Halaska. Under a little bit of pressure, they will not throw a flag, and this punt received by Kennedy, and then a big hit to the ball come out. Who has it? No signal yet.
I think they're ruling him down, I believe.
Wow. Jefferson came up with the ball. Hunter Burgess is holding it. He's saying it should be Jaguar football, but I think the officials disagree.
Looked like he was ruled down.
See if we can take another look at it. You be the judge here at home. That ball was out.
Oh, that
folks.
ball was on the ground.
This
Yes.
should be Jefferson football. Actually, there's the recovery, but you can see the whistles had already blown, but that clearly should have been a fumble.
Not sure how they're going to rule that.
Well, they can't. There's no replay. It's simply Kennedy football. So the Eagles catch a huge break right there. And instead of Jefferson nearing their 10-yard line, Kennedy has possession. And it's Robert Turnbull. He'll toss it to Barber. Barber breaks it to the outside, then was tripped up by Hunter Burgess, who was pushed back. And it's going to be 2nd and 12. What a big break there for Kennedy.
Oh, that was huge. Both defenses playing pretty well.
Watch as Burgess kind of pushes back one of Kennedy's blocking linemen right into Barber. 2nd and 12 with 7 minutes left in a scoreless first half here in the battle. Turnbull tosses it again to Barber. They're going to try this side again, and Opong says forget about it. He beats his block and then wrestles Barber to the ground. Another tackle for loss for the Jaguars.
You don't see many defensive linemen with that quickness and strength and that athletic. I mean, Opong makes plays all over the field. Last week against Waconia, remember him running down the quarterback
He chased down the quarterback from behind.
Incredible play.
Ethan Swanson, who's a very good athlete. We're not talking about like him chasing down like Tom Brady or John Elway, these statues back there.
And we saw him. We had a good view from up here.
Yeah.
He had to run a long ways to catch him.
Very good athlete. So 3rd and long for Kennedy, 13 to be exact. Turnbull has time, will throw it this side, and the receiver went out of bounds. And tried to come back in, but that would have been illegal. And it was intended for Hanspard and incomplete.
Well covered by Seal, I believe.
Yeah, Justin Seal was right there even when Hanspard went out of bounds. So Kennedy goes 3 and out as we're midway through the second quarter. Matt Thompson standing in Eagle territory at the 45. Ortiz takes the snap and quickly gets it away. Just a one-step kick. And this will twist toward the Jaguars sideline and stop dead at the 35-yard line. Another 25-yard punt. No return. Best starting field position for the Jaguars. And I think you said it perfectly, Coach. Remember when Ortiz faked that punt? He got 25 yards. His last 2 punts have both been exactly 25 yards.
There you go. There you go.
So that failed fake punt did not really hurt Kennedy at all.
Ortiz running with a football, that's money in the bank.
He's a good athlete.
Yep, exactly.
Here's a chance for Jefferson. Best starting field position of the day. Watts is still in there. He will hand it to Roosevelt, and they've got the sophomore going a little bit here on these last couple of drives. He's down to the 29-yard line on a gain of 6.
You can see him running with more confidence every week. Big and strong and just gaining experience. Wants to do well.
And they're keeping Isaiah out of quarterback runs. Cage won't get that far this time. Dion Barber was there, as well as Joe Draves for Kennedy. No gain, 3rd down. Should be 4-down territory here for Jefferson. I think this was a little bit out of the range of Halaska. Watts looking to throw, and it is caught by Ombangi, the first completion of the night for Jefferson, and it gets the Jaguars a big first down.
That ball gets there in a hurry. Good read by Isaiah Watts, a good throw and a nice catch.
Gain of 8 for the Jaguars. Hard to believe their first completion comes with under 5 minutes left in the first half. Jefferson quarterbacks now are 1 out of 8 for 8 yards and 2 completed passes to Kennedy.
The other thing helps that passing game is the fact that Roosevelt Cage is running the football for a lot of yardage.
Good point.
All of a sudden the pressure is not quite on the passer that there was.
Jefferson now within field goal range at the very least for Halaska. They're inside the red zone. Back to Roosevelt. Starting to drag some people forward now. Draves brings him down, but not before he reaches the 15-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 3 from there. Correction.
Second and 3 is good.
3, yep.
It's like the Rams last night against the Vikings, 2nd and 3 every time.
Yep. What has happened to the Vikings defense? That's a topic for another show. Roosevelt very near the marker. Just going to be about a yard short, though. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Good open field tackle by Terrell Barber right there. His younger brother, Dion Barber, congratulates him. 3rd and short for the Jaguars. This is normally where you'd use Isaiah as a weapon in the running game, but they're trying to keep him away from contact tonight, Coach, as he's coming off that injury.
I'm sure he'll run as little as possible.
Yeah, that's been the game plan anyway to this point. He looks like he's moving fine.
He's doing fine, yeah.
3rd and 1. Watts on the rollout, stops, waits, now throws toward the back of the end zone. Ombangi, but he's out of bounds. Clearly did not, caught it, great catch, but he was not in the field of play.
Yeah, a nice play by Watts.
That's
Threatened the run and dumped it late, just a little bit deep, out of the end zone.
Ombangi, great effort to try to come down with it. Now Jefferson is in field goal position. It's about a 30-yarder. Halaska easily within his range.
It look like they're going.
They are going to line up to
4th and 1.
Line up to go for it on 4th and 1. Kennedy creeping up to the line, and Tim Carlson will spend a timeout. Good time to use it with just 3:06 left in the first half. Jefferson still has 2 timeouts remaining.
It's the first time either team has really threatened to score here.
Kennedy's crept into Jefferson territory a couple of times, so this is the first red zone possession for either team tonight. And we thought it would probably shape up to be a defensive battle, didn't we, Coach?
That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
Former Jefferson coach Stan Shea, former Kennedy coach Stan Shea. Great to get your perspective on this battle.
It's fun to be here. When Kennedy opened in 1965, the facilities were first class. It was a great bunch of great kids, great parents. First year coaching is always probably the most fun, most exciting.
Here's the last pass to Ombangi. Great job by our crew to slow this down. You can see Newton's foot clearly out of bounds. Yeah. Good call, the official right there. So here we go, 4th down and a yard. Everybody right at the line of scrimmage for the Jaguars. Watts checks the sideline. And they're going to throw. They're going to lob it deep into the end zone. Ombangi, incomplete. And the Eagle defense comes up big once again.
Be interesting to see a replay of this.
The fade to Newton, But as we've said all game, Coach, Kennedy defensive backs, they're right there every time in perfect position to make plays. And just getting his arm in there that time was Avante Monroe.
Well, very well played by the D-back.
So Kennedy takes over. We may go to halftime scoreless. Who knows? We're under 3 minutes. Kennedy out of timeouts, by the way. Jefferson still with 2. As the run on first down goes nowhere, it'll be 2nd and 10. The Eagles would love to get a first down here. That would almost ensure that Jefferson would not get another possession. McDonald forced to keep it. Got around Brian Smiley, but then hit immediately. Tyler Nelson right there for the Jaguars, and Tim Carlson with 2 timeouts left. He's going to use one on 2nd down. And you would think presumably on 3rd down as well.
Both
try to get the ball back.
Both defenses really playing hard, playing well.
McDonald able to get a yard there, but it's 3rd and 9.
It's interesting how the complexion of the game changes when Jefferson is able to do something on the ground with the football. Roosevelt Cage with a number of hard runs, and then all of a sudden Jefferson's passing game is working a little better too.
Cage was 61 yards in the first half on 9 carries.
Yep.
Barber has similar numbers, but most of it came on a long 48-yard run for Kennedy, which has been their longest play from scrimmage so far. 3rd and 8, they would love a conversion. Jefferson still has a timeout left. McDonald will roll to his left. Stop, now forced back, and he's under pressure and hit. Pierce Opong helps to get the sack, and Jefferson uses the last timeout. And more importantly, that's a loss of 7 all the way back to the 8-yard line. 3rd Jefferson sack of the half.
Jefferson doesn't need a lot of time because they go no huddle, so they can run some plays here with not a lot of time on the clock.
And they're not going to have to go very far to get points either. This should be very good field position. See how far. Now Manny Montgomery back to field this punt. Normally it's Matt Thompson.
That's different, yep.
They get Manny. He's standing at the Eagle 45-yard line. Ortiz waits for the snap. And this is a pretty good punt, but it's short. Takes a nice Eagle bounce, though. That's a critical 10-yard bounce for Kennedy right there, and it's dead at the 40. So Ortiz continues. That's a 24-yard punt, so he's right at that 25-yard
whether
average.
He fakes it or punts
exactly.
it.
So Jefferson, you mentioned plenty of time, only 151, and no timeouts, but only 40 yards to reach the end zone.
When you don't need to huddle, you can run so many more plays in a short amount of time.
And you're right, Jefferson. That's what they do in almost every situation anyway.
Yeah. It's amazing they can communicate that well and make very few mistakes in assignments.
And Watts, he's out there again. The senior quarterback on that delayed handoff as Roosevelt just able to get by Beckley. Beckley hanging onto the back of his jersey to bring him down to prevent a much bigger gain. He did pick up 3. Jefferson moving quickly. 90 seconds left in the half. Watts to throw on the quick out. They've got Thompson. He's got a first down, and he's out of bounds.
Nice timing throw.
10-yard pickup on just the second completion of the game for Jefferson. And a fresh set of downs for the Jaguars. As they near the red zone, Watts flushed out of the pocket, fires downfield, caught by Morris. He's got another first down. Ortiz on the tackle, but he's down inside the 20.
Is that a quick release by Watts?
It is. Very fast. That ball is out.
Nice catch by
13-yard gain for Morris. Jefferson working quickly, still over a minute left. Watts forced to run, and he takes a hit, but he's down to the 10-yard line. It's got to make the
minute left.
Jefferson coaching staff cringe every time number 5 tucks and keeps it.
You're right on that.
He picked up 5 yards, though, 2nd and 5, under a minute. Watts looking toward the end zone, floats it for Morris, and it's a little bit too far.
It was close.
Well, he got it up and over Eric Avilas Rizzo, only where his guy possibly could make the catch, but it was over the outstretched arms of Morris. So 3rd down and 5 for Jefferson. As I mentioned last drive, they're well within field goal range here. Only about a 27-yard field goal from their current spot at the 10-yard line. Watts takes the snap, surveys, fires. He's got Cage out of the backfield. He's down to the 1-yard line. Clock should stop here. It's still rolling. The officials see that. They're going to blow it dead.
It's still running.
They're going to put a couple seconds back up on the clock.
It's a well-executed play.
9-yard pickup. The problem for Jefferson right now, if you run it and don't get it, then you're going to be really hard-pressed to get another snap off. You probably could with 30 seconds, but it would kill a majority of what's left on the clock. Remember, Jefferson out of timeouts.
Watts is moving awfully well on that knee, isn't he?
It doesn't look, you wouldn't even know he has missed the last month of play.
It's good to see that.
Clock will start on the official ready to play. They've put 36.6 up on the clock. And I like that Jefferson, they know the clock's going to start once the officials blow this, so they're in the game. They know the situation. They're getting ready to snap it. This scoreless first half here in the Battle of Bloomington. And the Jaguars strike first blood. Watts
wouldn't be surprised.
Goes for the sneak. Did he get in? He did. It's a touchdown. No official signal yet, but it sure looked like one from here. Kennedy claiming the ball came out. Kofi Beckley has the football. And it is a touchdown. I could not see the fumble either. We're going to take another look at it here, hopefully. The red, white, and blue Jaguar student section can celebrate the first points of the night. It looked like initially he got in, and you could see the ball ripped out there late.
He was well in.
Yep, that is a correct call of a Jefferson touchdown.
Good march by Jefferson. Some good throws and a couple of good runs.
Good 2-minute offense for the Jaguars as Halaska. Point after is good. 7-0 with just 13.2 seconds left in the first half.
Nice job. Isaiah Watts with a number of big plays there.
That's what he did against Waconia, led them down the field in wasn't exactly a 2-minute situation. They were able to take off about 6 minutes on the clock, but in a pressure situation, he delivered then, and he delivers here just before halftime, and that should give the Jaguars the lead headed to the locker room. Remember, it is Kennedy homecoming, so stick around. We'll have all the festivities. The the Bloomington Colleens will perform, and then we'll have the Kennedy homecoming ceremony here. Stick around on BEC-TV, and our Paul Fournier will try to catch up with some of the homecoming court here as well, so you can put some faces to the names. Probably a squib kick here for the Jaguars, you would think.
I'm not sure what Halaska's injury was, but I know last week it was a surprise to see him not kicking.
Yeah. Pierce Opong did, as Coach pointed out on Tuesday night on Inside Jefferson Football, Pierce Opong did make his only PAT.
There you go.
Alaska twisting this one toward the sideline. That's okay for Jefferson. It goes out of bounds. It does prevent any chance of a return for Kennedy.
Yep.
And they only have 13 seconds to work with. Getting back to Pierce, you know, a lot of high school teams, Coach, they don't have kickers. Their kickers are players on the team. It's usually you put one of your best athletes out there, but you don't see a lot of kickers that are defensive linemen, and that speaks to his athletic ability.
Hardly ever.
Yeah,
hardly ever.
The kicker it could be a wide receiver, could be a secondary guy. It's not usually a defensive lineman.
Many of them from the soccer team.
Yep.
Years ago, we'd always get our kickers from the soccer team.
And now Kennedy's kicker, we'll see their kicker to start the second half, and that's a soccer player, but she's on the women's soccer team.
That's interesting, and that's dynamite.
We'll talk about that when she lines up to boot the second half kickoff. Could be the final play of the half. It's a productive one for Kennedy that gets out to the 45-yard line, a first down. That'll stop the clock. Remember, Kennedy out of timeouts. Barber goes for a gain of 10.
8 seconds.
And it doesn't look like Kennedy's interested in snapping it here one final time. Jefferson understandably kind of a little bit of a prevent there. Kennedy gets 10 out of it, but we've reached the end of the first half here in the Battle of Bloomington. And it was scoreless until very late, but then the Jaguars went on a 40-yard march. Isaiah Watts took it in from a yard out, and it's 7-0 Jefferson. Was this about what you thought you'd see tonight, Coach?
It's the kind of game we thought we'd see. You mentioned mistakes, and both teams made mistakes early.
Yep.
And we know it's going to be a close game.
And that has stayed true to form here through the first half as Jefferson will take the lead into the locker room. Remember, we'll have the Bloomington Colleens coming up shortly, as well as the Kennedy homecoming ceremony.
A factor is Jefferson's offensive line with Cage running the football, doing a better job. I mean, they have been able to, Roosevelt's probably going 5, 6, 7 at a crack there, and that's credit to the offensive line.
Jefferson's had the more consistent running game, but very strangely, Coach, for a team that passes the ball so well, they are just 4 out of 14 with 2 interceptions as we send it quickly now down to Paul Fournier on the sidelines. Paul?
Thanks, guys. Coach Carlson, when you see Isaiah get hit when he's in the game, what's going through your head?
You know what? I'm just so thankful that he's playing. He's a good quarterback, but he's a better kid. And as a senior, you hate to see any senior get hurt and miss out. So I'm just glad he's playing and having fun again.
Speaking of having fun, are you having fun?
I'm always. What a great, hey, look at this. What a great community event. And you know what? It's the last one, but it's a good one. We know they're tough defense. We knew that. They threw a couple wrinkles at us, with the first half with offensively, and we adjusted. And we got to limit our mistakes offensively, but I like what we're doing so far.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Paul. Hey, I saw you cheering over here. Now you be careful.
It's my alma mater over here, and we'll throw it over to the Bloomington Colleens.
Money back. Money back. Money back. God, I do the money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah. Money back, 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 money back.
What else? Shake down. Say it. Say it. It's all getting red, getting fame. Getting. Huh? Yeah. If I was a rich girl.
Kennedy Colleens. Thank you, ladies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, homecoming for Kennedy. We're going to introduce the homecoming royalty and court. Following the homecoming court introduction, we'll have a performance by the cheer team. All right, it looks like we're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the 9th grade ambassadors, Miss Ellie Baker and Mr. Jamin Swedland. Jamin has made a lot of new friends and loves the staff and faculty here at Kennedy. Ellie plays softball and loves the teachers at Kennedy High School. Our 11th grade ambassadors are Jenny Abreu and Alec Chamberlain. Alec is a captain for the golf team and plays percussion in the band. Jenny is in the Kennedy Show Choir and has found many amazing friends at Kennedy High School. Our 11th grade ambassadors are Allie Starks and Quincy Miller. Allie is in the National Honor Society, Ignite, Student Government, and is also the girls volleyball captain. Quincy plays for the football and wrestling teams. Our 12th grade ambassadors are Isela Cerezo Mendiola and Trayshawn Williams. Isela is in student government, Avid Leadership, and Strive. Trayshawn is in the Rhythm and Gold President and is in Ignite and College Possible. Our 9th grade homecoming royalty are Susie Munson and Luke Doshan. Susie is on the soccer and lacrosse teams and plans on joining the basketball team. Luke is involved in both the lacrosse and hockey programs. Our 10th grade homecoming royalty are Tiffany Tran and Jaden Grace. Tiffany is in show choir and student government and loves how diverse Kennedy is. Jaden is on the swim and lacrosse teams. Our 11th grade homecoming royalty are Robin Kostke and Dino Zumba. Robin participates in student government and Rhythm and Gold. Dino plays soccer, dances and sings for Rhythm and Gold and Con Brio. That was a little backstep there. And now let's meet our 12th grade homecoming royalty. Our first couple is Naya Adams and Terrell Davis Barber. Terrell is on the track team, prom committee, OEE leadership. Ignite is on both the Colleens Fall and dance team. Terrell is involved in Ignite, is a basketball and football captain who believes the support here at Kennedy is what has developed him and his talent. Our second couple is Tiffany Larson and Cole Krause. Cole cannot attend tonight due to some medical challenges, and we want to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Stay strong, Cole. Tiffany is a manager for the Kennedy football team. She loves the school because of its great diversity. Cole is a part of the wrestling team, trap team, NHS, and is an Ignite mentor. Our third couple is Kimmy Nguyen and Dylan Long. Dylan represents the Eagles for the Kennedy football team. Kimmy is in National Honor Society, College Possible, and is an ambassador for Genesee Works and plays lacrosse. Our fourth couple is Libby Tafe and Santos Ortiz. Libby is the captain of the swim team and is involved in National Honor Society and Kennedy's show choir. Santos participates in football, track, and Kennedy show choir. And now, introducing our homecoming king and queen, Miss Olivia Morales and Mr. Phil Malachek. Olivia is involved in show choir, National Honor Society, Ignite, and is a captain for girls lacrosse. She also manages the boys soccer team. Phil is in Science Olympiad and hopes to be captain for it this year. He is also involved in National Honor Society and plans on playing table tennis. Miss Olivia Morales and Mr. Phil Malachek, the homecoming king and queen for 2018. There you have them, the Kennedy High School homecoming royalty and court.
You've met some of the homecoming royalty. We're going to meet them a little bit more in depth here. Have you guys tell me your name, what role you are in the homecoming court, and what you do at Kennedy.
My name is Ellie Baker. I'm a freshman ambassador on the homecoming court, and I do Kennedy High School softball.
All right, thank you.
My name's Jamin. I'm in 9th grade. I'm the ambassador, and what we do is we just like help with homecoming and stuff. It's pretty fun.
All right, perfect. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Abreu, and I am the 10th grade ambassador, and I am a part of show choir.
All right.
Hi, I'm Alec Chamberlain. I'm the 10th grade ambassador. I'm playing hockey this year, and I'm the captain of the golf team.
We gonna go all the way in hockey this year?
I have no clue. This will be my first year playing for the team, so.
All right, perfect. We'll see you out in the ice. I'll let you head on out. And tell me your name, what you're involved in at Kennedy, what your role is on the homecoming royalty.
I'm Allie Starks. I'm the 11th grade ambassador, and I'm in NHS. I'm an Ignite mentor. I'm in 3 of the choirs, and I'm the captain of the girls volleyball team.
Perfect. Have a good night.
Sweet. Thank you, too.
My name's Isela. I'm the 12th grade senior ambassador, and then I'm involved in Strive, Avid Leadership, Avid, and that's it.
My name is Trayshawn Williams. I'm the 12th grade senior ambassador. I'm involved with show choir, College Possible, and I'm an Ignite mentor.
What's College Possible?
It's a program where it helps you get ready for college and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
So we need your name, what you're involved in, what your role is on the court.
My name's Luke Doshan. I'm part of the 9th grade royalty, and I'm in hockey and lacrosse through Kennedy.
All right. Name, what you're involved in, and what your role is.
I'm Susie Munson. I'm a 9th grade freshman homecoming royalty, and I'm involved in soccer and lacrosse.
Now, I think all of your sisters have been on the homecoming court. What's that like to be able to follow in their footsteps?
It's really fun. They've always been telling me how cool of an experience it is. So I'm just kind of taking it down. I'm really excited to get it passed down, I guess.
Perfect. Have a good night.
Thank you.
So we need your name, what you're involved in, and what you do at Kennedy.
Okay. My name's Jaden Grace. I'm in 10th grade. I'm on the lacrosse and swim team, and yeah, I go to school at Kennedy.
All right. Have a good night.
I'm Tiffany Tran. I'm in 10th grade, and I'm in show choir and student government, and yeah, I go to Kennedy too.
Have a good night.
Hi, my name is Robin. I'm involved in student government and rhythm and gold, and yeah, I attend Kennedy. Yeah.
My name is Zeno. I'm a junior, and I'm involved in Kennedy soccer, boys, and rhythm and gold. And what is the last one?
How did we do in soccer last night?
We took a loss, but we'll get them next year.
All right, have a good night. Stay warm. And name, what you're involved in, and what your role is.
I'm Maddie Adams. I'm on Kennedy's dance team senior, Kennedy's girls track and field, prom committee lead, and Ignite mentor.
I'm Tiffany. I'm a football manager, and I'm on prom committee.
And this is Cole. He couldn't make it here tonight, so he's here in spirit in Minnesota fashion on a stick. He's involved in a lot of stuff, and we love him and miss him out here. We hope you guys get better, Cole.
Love you, get better. Love you.
Name what you're involved in and what your role is on the homecoming royalty.
My name is Kimmy Nguyen, and what I am involved in is NHS.
Ignite Mentor, Genesis Works program, and oh my God, I do so much, I can't remember.
What's that Genesis sports program? I've never heard of it.
Genesis Works program?
That one.
Yeah, it's only for seniors, and what you do is a 8-week summer training, and after that you get placed at an internship that has developed mostly towards professional skills and technical skills. And I am currently at Medica. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Hi, I'm Libby Tafe. I'm the captain of the swim team. I'm in show choir, Conbrio, NHS, Ignite, and yeah, that's it. So perfect.
Have a good night. And finally, our king and queen. Need your name, whatever else you guys are involved in at Kennedy.
Do I hold it? Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Olivia Morales. I'm the president of NHS. I'm a dance captain in show choir. I'm the captain of lacrosse. I'm a soccer manager, and yeah.
Between all the sports, what's your favorite?
Definitely lacrosse. Yeah, go Lax.
And you are?
I'm Phil Malchuk, and I'm involved in Science Olympiad, Orchestra, NHS, tennis, and I'm planning to do table tennis this year.
Awesome. And are we going to see any fun dance moves at the homecoming dance tonight?
Yes, Phil, do it. Do one.
Give us your best move. I like it. Well, there you have it. Bloomington Kennedy's homecoming royalty, king and queen. We'll throw it over to the band for some more halftime. It's 7-0 Jefferson right now.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
All right, we're back here in the second half, 7-0 Jefferson. Just talked to Coach Anderson quickly before the half started. Asked him if he was having fun. He said he's having a great time, other than the fact that he's down one score. It's a great atmosphere, great game. Everybody in the city seems like they're out here right now. I asked him when he told the team in the locker room, he said, everybody on this team, it's your last chance at Jefferson because of the district swap. You have 24 minutes to go out there and put up at least 8 points right now and hold them to 7 so that you can go home and say you beat Jefferson one last time. And that's all I got for you guys. So back up to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Paul. We are at halftime, just about ready to start the second half alongside former Jaguar and Eagle coach Stan Shea. Josh Powers with you. Defensive struggle in the first half. Not a lot of offense to speak of. We'll go quickly through some of the numbers. Rushing the ball, Roosevelt Cage led Jefferson 10 carries, 62 yards. And then for the Kennedy side, Terrell Davis Barber, 9 carries, 66 yards, but there wasn't a lot of passing offense. Combined for Kennedy, they were 3 out of 9 for 12 yards. And then surprisingly, Jefferson, coach, the team that leads the district in passing yards, they were 4 out of 14 for 40 yards, and the district's leading receiver, Manny Montgomery, held without a catch in the first half. That's the bad news for Jefferson. The good news is they still lead 7-0 thanks on the Isaiah Watts 1-yard quarterback sneak, as Kennedy lining up to kick it off. And here's what we talked about at the end of the first half. Jillian Zeeble, the junior place kicker for Kennedy, last week booted a 28-yard field goal, coach. She's been solid on point afters this year. What a great story for Kennedy.
That's fun to see, yeah. And interesting, both coaches, as they were going off the field, talked about very positive things. Tim Carlson talked about Isaiah Watts being back out, and what a great night for football. John Anderson saying his team's having a great time, and they can't wait to get back out here, knowing they may not play Jefferson again for a long time. So
that's a big story here.
Fun night. Good night for Bloomington.
And how about Coach Carlson giving Paul a little bit of ribbing there for cheering for Kennedy? Now, we have a great relationship with both coaches, and Paul does as well. I just want to point out, we are about as bipartisan as you can get here in our broadcast tonight as we watch this kickoff by the female place kicker for Kennedy, Jillian Zeeble, as it'll be a squibber out of bounds. But I do want to mention now, Paul, it's true, Paul is a Kennedy grad. I am a Jefferson grad, and we have you, Coach. You coached at Kennedy and Jefferson, so it couldn't be any more split down the party lines. We want both teams to do well. We hope both teams give their best effort, and we want to be as neutral as possible. And I know Coach Carlson was just giving Paul a little bit of the business right there.
That was great, yeah.
And it's because Paul knows the coaches so well off the field, too, that very comfortable even with that little bit of a joke there from Coach C.
That's dynamite. And, you know, great things happen every day in both Bloomington schools. It's a great place to be.
So Jefferson, remember, they scored on their last drive of the first half, and Isaiah Watts, since the first 2 possessions, he has been in there under center. Now Caden Osmondson joins the backfield here on first down. A little power for the Jaguars, and it's Roosevelt across the 40 to the 41.
You can see him reading his blocks in that and adjusting accordingly. Running better every play.
Gain of 3 for the young sophomore. Isaiah's used to handing off to a cage in the backfield, but he's used to older brother Rashawn, unfortunately out for the year. Also injured in that first game of the season against Orono. Watts, they roll the pocket, and he'll heave it deep down the sidelines, and it's caught! Manny Montgomery! Touchdown!
You said Montgomery shut out in the first half, and you're expecting something.
And I told you just a couple minutes ago, Coach, I thought Jefferson might be able to hit one over the top, and it happened on the second play from scrimmage, a 58-yard bomb to Manny Montgomery, who makes his first catch in this game, a big one.
The ball was in the air a long ways.
And that one throw there accounts for more yards passing than Jefferson had all told in the first half. And Manny is seemingly good for like one of those a game, Coach. It's just been incredible what he's done this season. That is catch number 23. Remember, we're in week 5 of the season. Now 557 yards, 8 touchdowns here in 4+ games.
Caught a couple of bombs out at Orono. Caught a bomb last week against Waconia. Caught a bomb tonight. Yeah, he just goes up and gets it, and he runs great routes. Fun to watch. Nice throw by Isaiah Watts.
The 4th touchdown of the season for Isaiah. And now Kennedy in a tough hole here, down by 2 scores on their homecoming. Really quickly, Coach, great job by Paul interviewing all of the Kennedy Royalty Court. And you kept mentioning, man, they're involved in a lot of stuff. We had some of the royalty, they couldn't even remember all the stuff they were involved in. By the way, when I was at Jefferson, my off-school activities included watching Saved by the Bell and playing touch football with my friends. Not nearly as impressive as what the Kennedy students are doing down there.
It was fun to hear, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that was dynamite.
So John Halaska to kick off, and congratulations to the Queen, Olivia Morales and Phil Malachik. And by the way, we want to send our BEC-TV wants to send their best to Cole Krause. He's one of the senior homecoming court members for Kennedy, battling some health stuff right now, not able to be at the game tonight. So our entire crew wants to send our best out to Cole Krause and his family, and a great honor for him to be part of the homecoming royalty here in 2018. And Kennedy starts at the 20. Going to need to generate some offense, Coach. I know they got 66 yards out of Barber in the first half, but 48 came on the one play. Jeffrey McDonald had 5 carries for 14 yards. He did have a negative 27 yards on 3 sacks. Those don't count against his rushing numbers, but that hurt Kennedy's field position as well. And it is McDonald to start here in the second half as he tries to squeeze through a gap up the middle, but he can't quite get through there as he stopped for no gain. And now Jefferson motioning that the ball came out, but the officials are going to mark forward progress at the line of scrimmage.
Jefferson's defensive front is playing very well. And you can see if McDonald gets some air, he can cover a lot of ground fast. He's a good athlete.
That defensive front, Nick Martindale, Zach Snurr, Pierce Opong, Caden Osmondson, they've been doing the job up front.
They've all made big plays tonight. Martindale, a number of big plays.
Second and 10 for Kennedy. Simmons steps beside McDonald as he waits for the snap, but we have a whistle.
Delay game, I believe.
Second delay. There have not been a lot of penalties in this game. Both teams just 2 penalties in the first half. Do you want to correct the Kings' last name there? Phil Malachek. Apologize there, Phil. So there haven't been a lot of penalty mistakes in this game. Both teams being very disciplined. Jefferson does have the 2 turnovers. Second and 15 now for Kennedy. Barber out of the backfield. Runs right into Tyler Nelson, and they say incomplete. And Kennedy fortunate once again.
Jefferson's getting people into the vicinity of the ball in a hurry, and that can cause turnovers fast.
They know where that swing pass is going, and they're getting a guy out there. It was actually not Nelson, excuse me, it was Hunter Burgess out there to hit Barber right as he received the ball. And now a tough spot for the Kennedy offense here on 3rd and 15. They're just a team not designed to pick up these large chunks. Manny Montgomery in at safety for the Jaguars, just surveying the whole field back there. The far right of your screen. McDonald under pressure, down he goes.
Quentin Morris.
And how about the little guy? That's his 2nd sack, and McDonald comes up a little gimpy. He's not going to bull rush anybody, but he's got some quickness, Coach.
He sure does, and he plays hard.
He does. And it should be very good field position for Jefferson now. Matt Thompson back to return this punt, standing in plus territory. Ortiz is in his own end zone. Here comes the rush. He gets it away quickly. Jefferson has had a theme of blocking kicks this year. Montgomery takes us on the run, and a nice return.
It's a gutsy play to step up and field that. He had a little room. He had enough room to do it.
Bumped out at the 25-yard line, so they're nearing the red zone already. Great show by the Kennedy students. Obviously, a full stands on the other side of the field, too. What a night for the city of Bloomington.
Going back to all those activities of the royalty, it's fun to hear that. You know, in every school in the country, you got kids like that. makes you want to go to school every day. You know, as a
Absolutely.
teacher. Yeah.
And you would know that more than anyone, Coach, as a educator. Roosevelt continuing to pick up positive yardage. Down to the 20, gain of 3 as they mark that
good
return
read by Cage.
Yep, at the 23-yard line. He was stopped for a negative play on his first carry from scrimmage, but since then, every carry has been positive.
And he's getting yards after first contact, quite a few.
The score here would really, you hate to say it would be almost out of reach for Kennedy, but 3 scores would be very difficult for the Eagles. Quick out, caught by Manny, turns upfield and spun down. He's got the first down. Just outside the 10-yard line.
Again, good timing on the throw.
So Manny has the first 2 catches of the second half in the passing game for the Jaguars, and you're right, if that throw isn't on time, Coach, William Peterson's going to be able to make a play there. Roosevelt rumbling up the middle again. Turned back at the 8-yard line by Arnold Deidre. He's kind of the forgotten man of the Kennedy defensive line. Beckley and Draves pick up all the accolades, but you see Deidre chipping in there with a nice stop. 2nd and 6 from the 8. Roosevelt again, churning forward, very close to the marker.
You can see he has great leg strength.
And the carries starting to pile up for the sophomore, 14 of them now. 3rd and 1 coming up.
He's not complaining. I think he's saying, keep giving it to me.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? In that big 200-pound frame of his. Watts checks the sideline. Could be a sneak here. Jefferson doesn't line up under center very often. And it is a sneak. Easy first down and a touchdown. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. This one from 4 yards out, and Jefferson coming out strong here in the second half. Took the opening kick and threw a bomb to Montgomery, and now they churn this one out on the ground here on drive number 2. Both drives finding the end zone.
Impressive march.
Alaska, all of a sudden, remember this was a scoreless game with under 30 seconds left in the first half, and we're not even midway through the 3rd quarter, 21-0. Jefferson seizing the momentum.
Jefferson's running game probably wearing down that Kennedy defense somewhat.
Jefferson has been a team this year, though, and I hate to bring up this stat as a Jefferson grad, but Jefferson, they've outscored their opponents through the first 3 quarters of each combined this season, but in quarter number 4, Coach, they've been outscored 61-22.
That's a surprising stat.
It is. And so this one far from over with that stat in mind. Kennedy, by the way, they've scored 75% of their points on the season in the 4th quarter. So stick around here. This one not over yet. Although Jefferson's trying to make sure there's not a big 4th quarter rally by Kennedy. And what could be the last battle of Bloomington, and who knows? They're not going to play next year. We don't know when the next time they will play. They're going to be in different districts.
For all the players that have played over the years at Kennedy and Jefferson, I'm sure all of them kind of sad to know that they're not going to be playing next year.
Absolutely. Here's the kick. Taken by Kennedy outside the 10, and there haven't been much in the return game. We got a flag launched by a couple of officials.
Thrown from way away from the play.
The field.
There are 2 flags, so the officials will discuss. almost a must drive here, you'd think, for Kennedy. They need to get at least a touchdown here before the end of the third quarter.
They do.
I'm not sure what that signal, it was against Kennedy. And did you catch what the call was, Coach?
I did not see
it. It was kind of an odd signal. We'll see how far the officials march this ball off. 10 yards. So the Eagles will start from the 10. It might have been a half the distance. I always wonder why they pace off the yardage. I mean, you know it's 5 yards, right? Do you need to pace it off? Can't you just count the yards?
Yeah, they
I mean,
basically do.
They know the math. The math is not that difficult, right, Coach? I mean, what
right.
am I missing something?
You're right.
Just always strikes me as odd.
I did not get the call on that.
I did not. He put his fists together like this, Coach. I know you can't see me at home here making this motion, but I've never seen that call before. But anyway, it might have been a roughing call or something. It looked like a
15-yard penalty because they went half the distance.
Yeah, they went half the, so it might have been a personal foul on Kennedy.
Could be.
So they start at the 10.
2 flags came right away, so it was glaring.
See if we can pick up what had happened there. There's a tackle. Nothing wrong with that, and certainly that wasn't the cause of the infraction.
It was contact away from the play.
We have a long delay here as Tim Carlson now talking with one of the officials. If you want to hear more from head coach Tim Carlson, stick around for, well, don't stick around. Join us for Inside Jefferson Football Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. It'll be immediately followed by Inside Kennedy Football at 8:30. We could be John Anderson there, could be one of the assistants. I've loved getting to know some of the assistants with John Anderson's busy schedule. We've had offensive coordinators, defensive line coach was there last week, so it's been great to get to know some of the assistant coaches for Kennedy here this year. Terrell Barber, not a lot of room at all. He gets back to the line of scrimmage.
John Anderson's a busy guy now with both head football and athletic director. That's a lot of hats to wear.
Yeah, we've seen Scott Etzel this year. He's the defensive line coach. We've seen defensive coordinator Kedrick Williams. And last year, of course, we had Mike Cameron in there as well. And also this year, Daryl Moffitt, the offensive coordinator, stopped by. So it's been great to get to know some of the assistant coaches for Kennedy this season. It's always great to meet some of the other kids too, whether it's Jefferson, they have the Where Are They Now segment, or Kennedy, we've had the Bloomington Colleens. Last week we had Tiffany Larson, the student manager, who also is part of the homecoming royalty tonight, stopping by. Kennedy really backed up now inside the 5.
That's great coverage. That's a tribute to BEC Cable TV doing that. That's great for Bloomington.
Yeah, it's our 5th year of doing the shows for both institutions. Really allows the football program for each school to be highlighted. Even if you're not a football fan, we talk a little bit of X's and O's, Coach, but it's really about highlighting the great things that both football programs are doing on and off the field.
Yep, more of the off the field things we should know about every day, you know. Between John Anderson and Tim Carlson, they're huge into both of those things.
Yeah, and obviously tonight being Wounded Warrior Project Night, we talked a lot about that on Tuesday night, and what a great initiative that Jefferson started. And then, of course, when John Anderson came over from Jefferson to be the head coach of Kennedy, what a classy move to support Jefferson in this initiative, even though it's a Kennedy home game. It's great to see. I mean, it's a great rivalry. Coach Shea, don't get me wrong, but
It's a healthy one.
there's a lot of respect on both sides of the field for both programs.
There always has been that. Yeah, it's great respect. You're right.
Kennedy backed up on its own 2 here. This is a dangerous spot in the field. Theo Simmons is 5 yards deep in his end zone, standing behind McDonald. McDonald to throw, far side, incomplete. Wanted Connor Lynch on the slant.
Well covered again, I think, by Seal, I believe.
Jefferson's secondary has played well. When you don't mention a cornerback, you know they're doing a good job. I don't think I've called Elliot Sambugaro's name tonight.
Nope.
Justin Seal is back there as well, of course, for Jefferson.
Montgomery has played more defensively than probably normal.
I think so, yeah. That safety
Back
spot
helping out
kind
at
of
safety here.
kind of roaming the, policing the
Obvious
field, so to
passing down.
speak.
Yeah.
And he is out there once again on this 3rd and 18. Now Manny creeping up to the
They're
line of
climbing
scrimmage,
up.
showing blitz. McDonald, they roll the pocket, has a wide open Barber who makes the catch, gets him some breathing room out to the 10-yard line.
Give the punter a little bit of room.
Jefferson's been winning the field position game here in the second half. Third catch, excuse me, for Barber. He's been busy with 10 carries and 3 catches. It's good. You want to get the ball in your best player's hands. Kennedy's tried to do that tonight. And Ortiz, he's going to run for it. It looks like he's going to have the first down, and he does. So how about that?
He is one confident young man. 4th and 30, and he got 26 or 7 early.
And this one was a 4th and 10.
From about their own 5, maybe 10-yard line.
You were there on the 10, 18-yard scramble for Ortiz. Kennedy trying to pull out all the stops. We'll see if that can spark their offense here. Second time 23 has done this, and you could see this one developing. Once he took off, there was no doubt he had the space necessary to get the first down. That was if he calls that on his own down there, that was a great call. McDonald finds an open man over the middle.
He was very near the line of scrimmage, but a nice play by the quarterback. Threw it at the last second.
Dixon Owusu with the catch, his first catch, and Kennedy moves the chains. This is a crafty little throw by McDonald. Doesn't always have to be the best motion. He's kind of flicked it out there, but he found his open man.
It looked like he had committed to the run and just threw it last second.
That's a sign of an experienced quarterback when you're on the scramble drill, but you keep those eyes downfield.
That's right.
1st and 10, option look, late pitch, got it to Simmons. And McDonald took an absolute shot from Nick Martindale. Simmons able to get back to the line of scrimmage, that's it.
Option played really well. You've got to have a man for the pitch and a guy on the quarterback, and Jefferson's done that all night long here. Well played with a lot of pursuit.
Jefferson's really moved laterally well tonight. And that's something they do from game to game, where the offenses they've struggled against, Coach, are those big, bruising, power running games.
That come and run right at you.
Yep. Jefferson much more conducive to defend more of a lateral speed attack like Kennedy has. 2nd and call it 9. They'll say Simmons picked up a yard there on 1st down, and pulling it, McDonald. And I don't think it would have mattered. He's wrapped up by Pierce Opong, who I think could have made the tackle on Theo Simmons anyway.
He had both guys under control.
He was just waiting to see what was going to happen on that read option. Watch how long McDonald holds it in there, then pulls it out last second. And Opong says, thank you very much. I'll take another tackle for loss.
He's involved in big plays every week.
We'll see Jefferson again next week against Armstrong. 3 straight games here at Bloomington Stadium for the Jaguars. 3rd and 13. McDonald, they want Houston on the fade. There's some contact and a flag. Should be defensive pass interference. I don't think I saw Houston do anything that would warrant an offensive PI.
The D-back never really got his head turned around looking for the football.
And the throw was close enough here to Houston where officials deem he could have gone up and tried to make a play for it. You see the contact there.
Yep.
And gave the jinx to Mr. Sam Bugaro. We're going to call his name here for that pass interference. Sorry, Elliot.
You just commented on it.
So spot foul. Kennedy gets another first down. This is the 4th time Kennedy's been in Jefferson territory, but each time they get about here, Coach, and then they've run into problems. 3:23 left in quarter 3. Eagles looking to get on the board here in the battle. McDonald keeps up the middle, falls forward.
Opong again, part of the tackle.
Kind of hung on from behind, did Pierce. Gain of 1 for McDonald. David Fours also there, number 8 for the Jaguars.
Fours has made some big plays during the year.
He's not a starter, but he gets a lot of action in there.
Yes, and he can make a lot of things happen. He plays real aggressive.
Draves in the backfield on 2nd and 9. McDonald wants the deep ball again to Houston, and he acts as a defender going up and swatting that away.
Very
as
well
Sam
covered.
Bugaro was frustrated he didn't come away with the interception.
Great coverage.
So you mentioned the bad on Sam Bugaro with the pass interference, but he was in perfect position this time, and if not for Houston's, we see that on the basketball court from number 84. They're lucky he's a basketball player right there because he went up high to at least get a fingertip on that one. 3rd down and 9 for Kennedy. 4-down territory here, you would think. So they pitch it to Barber. Has the edge.
Got some room.
Barber cuts it back. Has the first down. A flag, though, in the area of holding, so hang on. Maybe too good of a block on that edge, Coach. Yeah, tough penalty for Kennedy right now. They're heading back there like it's on the Eagles, and it is.
Looking that way.
Right there, I think was that block right on the edge. And a penalty goes against Hanspard, which is too bad because I think Barber had that corner anyway.
He was outside. Yeah, he had the defensive back beat.
3rd and long. So now 3rd and 19 for Kennedy. 2.5 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. McDonald will roll the pocket. Look downfield. He's got an open man. It's complete. And I think that's Connor Lynch at the 45-yard line. So they pick up half of it. First catch by Connor Lynch. And now what that allows you to do, Coach, is go for it here on 4th down and 9.
Never know.
Their best 4th down play so far tonight has been the fake punt. And now as they send out the specialty teams unit, you might be thinking, is it going to happen again?
Ortiz punting is, you never know what's going to happen.
They've picked up 43 yards on 2 fake punts so far tonight. So Ortiz, they're on fake punt alert. It is a fake. And Lynch, all sorts of trouble, and he's going to be wrapped up. Jefferson will take over. It almost looked like they wanted to throw back to Ortiz and then do a double pass.
Yeah, he was covered.
Theo Simmons was leaking out. He was the protection offset man in that formation. I don't think Lynch saw him. It looked like Simmons was open downfield.
Things happen fast in that.
Yep. Lynch tried to get what he could, but he was brought down by Osmondson.
Credit to John Anderson and his staff. They're doing everything they can to creatively try to score some points.
Yep, and you always see that in big rivalry games. You
Yeah.
expect the team that maybe
exactly.
is the underdog, or maybe they're trailing in the game. You come out, you pull out all the stops. Kennedy certainly
Give
tried
your
to do that
kids-
tonight.
Give your kids a chance to win. And sometimes that's high risk.
Yeah, the kids like that aggressive
Oh,
approach
they do.
too.
They do.
Have you ever had a kid on the sidelines come up to you and go, "Yeah, coach, it's 4th and 1, but I really think we should punt it here"? Did that ever happen?
Every play.
They never say
exactly.
that. It's always, yeah, we got to go. We can get it. We can go for this.
Exactly.
You probably wouldn't want a player coming up to you and go, 4th and 1, I don't think we can get it, coach.
No,
You should just punt.
That's exactly right. You want them confident.
Good defensive play there from Kennedy. Loss for Jefferson. 2nd and 15 from the 40 as we're under a minute. Quarter number 3.
They pretty much so double cover Montgomery.
Watts
Oh, nice
slings it. Look at
throw.
the velocity on that throw. It's caught at midfield. Matt Thompson takes it to the 48-yard line. They get 12 of the 15 on 2nd down.
Isaiah's finding some seams in that zone and throwing the ball well. And receivers running good routes.
It has been a tough zone to crack, but Jefferson's
Yep.
starting to get some completions. Remember, their first pass completion did not come until there was less than 5 minutes left in the first half.
I think you said they started maybe 0 for 6.
Yep. Now combined, they are 7 out of, as we reach the end of the third quarter, 7 out of 17 passing, so still not a great or a typical Jaguar completion percentage, but they did get the big 58-yard bomb to Manny Montgomery, part of a 2-touchdown quarter for Jefferson, and they stretched the lead that was 7-0 at the half, now 21-0 as we are approaching the final 12 minutes here in the Battle of Bloomington 2018.
In a normal game, Jefferson's thrown the ball way more than 17 times at this stage of the game.
What?
But they're also running the ball well with Roosevelt Cage.
Down on the sidelines, we find Paul Fournier. Paul.
Hey guys, got the super fans from Kennedy here.
Oh yeah.
Tell me who you guys are.
My name's Andy.
I'm Peter.
I'm Justin.
And what are we doing to pump up the team tonight?
You know, we're just staying on those grinds and getting those cheers up, getting everyone lit. Look at this crowd, it's amazing. You know, it's Justin's birthday. Wish him a happy birthday. Yeah.
Now, you guys are down 21 right now. Jefferson's been outscored a lot in that 4th quarter. You guys feeling a big comeback?
It's comeback season.
Always comeback season.
Always comeback season. And what do I know? Eagles never fail. They're coming back.
Never surrender. All right, guys, I'll let you get back up there. Let's get you guys some loudness going. Get on defense. We'll throw it back upstairs.
Thanks, Paul. 3rd and short for Jefferson. 3rd and 3. Love the positivity there. They're ready for the homecoming dance, by the way.
They are. Not a dull moment.
If you missed it, homecoming royalty at halftime was anointed. Olivia Morales is the queen. Phil Malachek the king.
Legal substitution on the defense. Third penalty remains 3rd down.
It should be I would think an automatic 1st down there. Official said 3rd down, but it was 3rd and 3, so the 5 yards pushes Jefferson to a fresh 4 here to start the 4th quarter. Isaiah Watts, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 through the air. Roosevelt Cage breaks a tackle, and another, and falls forward close to the marker.
He is running harder week by week here. fun to see him improve and get more confidence, you know.
Not a very good spot there as they mark Roosevelt down. You see he falls to the 35 there. Ball spotted at the 36, so 2nd down and 3. Caden in motion. Roosevelt again broke a tackle.
Well
and he's
blocked.
down inside the 25.
I think Cade Osmondson with motion back and forth and got a good block on a trap that helped open that up.
96 yards for Roosevelt Cajun. I believe that is a new career high in rushing for him. That was carry number 16, so he's averaging close to 6 yards a pop. Actually, right at 6 yards a carry. Watts in trouble, and he lost the football. Is it a fumble or a pass? They say an incomplete forward pass.
It was close.
Oh my.
Very close.
We're going to take another look. You be the judge here. Was his arm going forward? And I think it was. I think that's a good call, and it appeared like he still had control of it as his arm was moving forward. So looked like the right call there.
He's a good enough athlete to make that happen.
Yep. So that saved both a fumble and a negative loss. Cage on 2nd and 10. This time doesn't get as far. Kofi Beckley was the first man there. It'll be 3rd and 10. And I think Beckley was in on that sack too, if I'm not mistaken.
He's all over the field. He's a great player.
Third and 10, 4-down territory for Jefferson. To throw, Watts slings it, and it's caught.
That's a good throw and a good catch.
At the 17-yard line. It's going to be short of the marker, but it brings up a 4th and 2. Newton Ambongi making his 2nd catch. You could maybe go for a field goal here, but Jefferson lining up to go for it. 4th and a short 3.
They shift in tight. This will be interesting to see what we see here. I think they got an offside.
Did they get him to move?
A hard count has drawn a number of teams offside against Jefferson.
It's going to be the 2nd penalty to award Jefferson a 1st down on this drive.
Encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
After just 2 penalties in the first half, 5 now for Kennedy in the 2nd half. And the Eagles take a timeout with 9:51 to go. Glad you're with us tonight on BEC-TV alongside former Bloomington coach of both Jefferson and Kennedy, Stan Shea, and with Paul Fournier, Josh Powers here. Kennedy homecoming, and could be the last battle of Bloomington. We hope it's not, but the team's currently not scheduled to play next year with Kennedy moving districts. It might be the last for some time, putting added importance on this one. Jefferson leads 21-0. It's been a defensive battle. The Jaguars scored the first points of the game with less than 30 seconds left in the first half and added 2 third-quarter touchdowns. Isaiah Watts, who no one expected to play. Funny that Coach Carlson didn't mention that he might be available during our Tuesday taping of Inside Jefferson Football. Of course, if you're not familiar, the Kennedy team, or the players and coach, whoever is joining me on the show, is pretty much at Jefferson's taping. They're there about 30 minutes beforehand, so they get to see the whole show. So you're not really worried about maybe Chanhassen seeing something that maybe Coach Carlson says, but certainly Kennedy would have been aware had it been mentioned to me on Tuesday. But he has accounted for all 3 Jefferson touchdowns, and he's in there now on a 1st and 10. Roosevelt. Cage has a lot of green. Cage trying to stretch to the pylon, but he's out of bounds.
There's going to be a flag down. Must have been a hold out there wide. You know, Roosevelt's run, he looks quicker all the time here. He's doing a nice job.
No one would ever compare his speed to older brother
No,
Rashawn.
no,
but
no.
they're two different body types, Coach. I mean, you've got Roosevelt. He's a 200-pound guy. He's a taller guy. He's 5'10", with Rashawn only 5'8", and Rashawn only 167. They're two very distinct body types, even though they're brothers.
Exactly.
First
I
down.
talked to Mom at a ball game here early in the season, and we were talking about if there's fights at the dinner table, who wins? And she said, I can't say that for sure. Rashawn did say that Roosevelt, he's a big load.
1st and 20 after that holding penalty on Jefferson. Watts to throw over the middle, and it's intercepted. Santiago Ortiz, how far can he go? Across the 40. His second interception of the night. And the third pick by the Eagles secondary. That pass just looked off target by Watts there.
It did. I don't know if the receiver took the foul. I'm not sure.
I do like, though, if you make an interception, it might be a good idea to run the guy down that you threw the ball to and make the tackle, and that's what Watts did that time. But a big play by the Kennedy D. And good starting field position for McDonald and company. Hand off to Barber, got a nice block from Draves. Barber to the edge, tries to cut it back, still on his feet, now reversing field, and dragged down.
That's Snur, I believe.
Zach Snur saved a big play, because if Barber gets around him, he had this whole side of the field open.
He ran 60 yards there for a 0 gain, but he was all over the field.
I mean, you can't. He could have picked up maybe 3 yards here, Coach. He's trying to make things happen. He's trying for a bigger play. Watch Schnur there, 67, right there, just hung on to his jersey. Second and 10 for Kennedy. Under 9 minutes left. They need to strike quickly. And I think that's part of the reason you saw Barber cut it back. They're trying to make a big play happen.
Boy.
Big hole here.
Yes, there was. Well blocked by the offensive line of Kennedy.
Justin Seal got a little out of position, recovered though to limit the gain to 5. Barber now with 71 yards on 12 carries. That helps this third down out a lot for for Kennedy.
3rd and about 4.
Four wide receivers trying to spread that Jaguar defense out. They look to Houston, and a nice route by Houston. First down. Works his way to the 41. Now they've thrown a couple fades to him, Coach. That time cuts off that route. Good timing.
That was a well-executed pass play. Nice throw by the quarterback, nice route by the wide receiver.
Second catch for Jake Houston. His older sister Samantha, outstanding athlete as well. She plays basketball as well as Jake. We're going to see both of them this winter for the Eagles. Seven and a half minutes to go. McDonald from the pistol looks toward Jake again, and he's on target. Houston trying to get to the out-of-bounds marker, ruled inbounds. Keeps the clock moving, but it's a completion and gain of 7 for Kennedy.
Nice throw again by the quarterback.
McDonald now 8 out of 16. Unofficially.
This is a good march by Kennedy. They're not giving up, that's for sure.
They can get a quick score here. You never know what can happen here. 2 backs in the backfield here on this 2nd and short. McDonald keeps it. He got around the edge. picks up a block from Houston, and he's inside the 15.
That's a zone read. What a great play by the quarterback.
McDonald fooled everyone. Everyone thought Barber had the ball. Jefferson's defense kind of stopped, and McDonald takes it for a 20-yard gain.
Very nicely executed.
Look at Houston blocking a couple Jaguars there for some extra yardage.
Well executed play.
And more importantly, McDonald getting out of bounds. Now that's important in the high school game because you don't wind the clocks like in the college or pro game.
Exactly.
That literally does save the whole play clock. McDonald lofts to the end zone. Houston! For the touchdown!
Very, very nice march by Kennedy. And give them credit. When things aren't looking good, they're hanging in there. They're playing hard.
Houston did it all in that drive. 3 catches and the key block on the long McDonald run.
Boy, that's a good throw and a good catch.
That's exactly where you want to put that fade.
Yeah,
that was
very well covered.
Good positioning, but tough to defend a perfectly thrown ball when you got a guy out there in Houston that's 6'4". Kennedy will try for the point after. Remember, this is their female kicker, Jillian Zeeble, who has been solid on these so far this year. And Zeeble has this one blocked. So Jefferson saves a point, and that's been a theme for the Jaguars. I believe that's their 5th blocked kick.
Interesting stat.
For Jefferson this year, Nick Zilka's earning the money, what little of it he gets paid of as a high school assistant coach, but they have been doing some things on special teams this year in a positive way.
Nick Zilka does a great job with them. Great with the kids and good tactical coach.
So Kennedy not out of it yet by any means. There's still half of this quarter left. You mentioned pulling out all the stops. Could that include maybe an onside kick here, Coach?
They have all night. They surprised us all night, starting with the fake punt twice.
They've attempted 3 fake punts in total. Can't remember the last time I've seen a game where a team attempted 3 fake punts in a game. Usually you go for one, regardless if it doesn't work or if it works. You're like, okay, we did one. They're not going to be surprised anymore. That's going to be it. No, we've seen Kennedy 3 times today.
Exactly. You know, you got Ortiz as the punter, who's a great athlete, and if he can get some open air outside, he can hurt you fast.
Kennedy lining up with a bunch of population to the far side of the field.
Yeah, probably an onside. Jefferson's lined up as though it's onside.
Yeah, they've got most of their 10 of their 11 guys you can see in your screen there within 15 yards or 20 yards of the line of scrimmage. And here's Zeeble to kick. There's the onside kick. Nice hop from Zeeble.
That's a good onside kick, yes.
Recovered by Matt Thompson. She executed it pretty well, Coach.
She
you want
did very
that
well.
Second hop to bounce up high, and that's what it did, but maybe just a little bit too far.
Very well. If you do it right, it goes once, maybe twice, then you get the big hop.
Yep. There is a flag down.
Some contact late. I'm not sure if that's called or not.
Matt Thompson had the clear recovery for Jefferson. Good march there by Kennedy. When they needed a touchdown, when they needed a touchdown, they got it.
McDonald made a bunch of nice plays, a number of throws, a read option where he kept the ball, fooled everybody on a big play.
That was a 55-yard touchdown drive. Remember
Personal
that?
Foul on the return team.
That drive started by the Ortiz interception.
Yep, that's right.
Tough penalty for Kennedy. That's one I think you can live with there because I think Kennedy was just trying to fight for the football. But it does move the ball into Eagle territory at the 40. So they're going to need another big defensive play here. And I would expect to see a heavy dose of Roosevelt here on this drive. Kennedy, by the way, down to just one timeout left here in the final 6+. Watts has stayed in the lineup since taking over for Rasmussen in the third series of the first half. And there is Roosevelt on first down.
That offensive line is doing a great job. There's air there every run.
Barber stops him after a gain of 3. And Cage now has hit the century mark for the first time as a Jaguar.
Good for him.
18 carries, 100 yards for the sophomore. Second and 7. Back to Roosevelt. Pushing the pile forward to the 40, or to the 30, excuse me.
The play they ran earlier here, a nice job again by Osmondson. Motion coming back, and he executes a trap block. Very well done.
And the Jaguar is down, and it might be Roosevelt. It is, and he may have landed on something wrong. They gave him a first down on a gain of 7. Quickly down to Paul Fournier. Paul.
Thanks, guys. On that last play on that personal foul on Kennedy, I want to give a quick shout out to number 32 from the Eagles, Trayton Madison. He's a junior, and I guess there were some extracurriculars on the off the ball where people were kind of pushing each other and whatnot. But he grabbed the one of the Kennedy players who was in there causing some of the issues and tried to pull him out of there to try to negate that flag. So Coach Anderson is going to sees that, and he might be a good contender for a captainship next year. So just want to give a quick kudos out to number 32, Trayton Madison, who tried to negate that injury, or that flag on that last kickoff. So back up to you guys.
Thanks, Paul. As I continue to look at Roosevelt Cage, remember his older brother Rashawn injured, we think done for the season. So it has not been a productive season injury-wise for the Jaguars, and it's too bad on a career night for Roosevelt.
He's had a great night.
I would imagine, based on how he's moving right now, we will not see him in the final 5.5 minutes.
Looks like it might be ankle.
We should see, though, Ethan Rowland, number 29.
And Ethan's run hard.
And he does, in fact, come in, does Ethan. Here on this 1st and 10. Eagle D needs a stop. Down by 2 scores. And time on the side of the visitors from Jefferson. Rowland's first touch of the night. Not much there. A bunch of Eagles were in the mix, including Isaac Graham's number 26. Gain of 1 for Rowland. So if Roosevelt's night is done, that's 19 carries for 107 yards on the ground for him. We'll see if the Jaguars put it up in the air here. Stay on the ground to Rowland, and Rowland finds a seam. He's got the first down. A big play for the Jaguars as he's moved it inside the 20.
A good read by Rowland and some good blocking up front by that offensive line.
11-yard run for Ethan Rowland. Just a little bit of a cutback lane there for 29, and he took advantage of it. Now the Jaguars really can bleed the clock here. Remember, they're in field goal range. A field goal would put them up by 3 scores. Watts will continue to operate under center, which is abnormal for this Jaguar offense. They're in ball control mode right now. Watts just waiting till the play clock dwindles. Now snaps it to Rowland, and he kind of slipped as he tried to make his cut.
Good reaction, making a little cut, reading the opening, and tripped up a little bit.
No gain on that play. Remember, Kennedy only with 1 timeout left, so that was a big first down pickup for Jefferson. Every first down essentially is like taking 2 minutes right off the clock
Yes, you're right.
in this situation. Second down and 10 for the Jaguars. They toss it to Roland out wide, trying to get the corner and sandwich there. Coming up was Ortiz. Roland picked up a couple. More importantly, cut it back to make sure he stayed in bounds. It's a gain of 2. It's 3rd and 8. But Ortiz really tried to put that helmet right on that football, but
Trying to shake it loose.
so now 3rd and 7. Remember, they are in field goal range, so we'll see if they put it up in the air here. You would think Kennedy would use the timeout if they get the stop here on 3rd down. Watts will hand it off to Roland. He's going to be dragged down after a minimal gain, so it'll be 4th down for Jefferson.
Not sure if they ran that to set up the field goal or not.
We'll see.
We're down to 2:20 in time.
A 30-yard kick right here for Halaska. And Kennedy does, in fact, use that final timeout. So they are out of timeouts with 2:20 left. But they've at least forced a 4th down here. And decision time for Tim Carlson. A field goal would basically put this out of reach. It'd be a more than 2-score game. What you risk here on if you attempt a field goal, if you get some sort of a weird block and a bounce, all of a sudden Kennedy gets a touchdown.
Yep.
They haven't done a lot offensively tonight. I know they scored on their last drive, but maybe you play it safe here, you go for it. If you don't get it, then you at least make Kennedy go a long field, and they still have to score twice.
And Halaska being the kicker he is also factored in. This is well within his range.
Yeah, it's only a 30-yard kick, and they will trot out John Halaska to attempt the field goal. A 30-yard kick to basically put the Battle of Bloomington away. Been a reliable kicker for the Jaguars over the years, and Halaska, plenty of distance, and it is right down the middle.
Dead center, nicely done.
John Halaska from 30 makes it a 3-score game as the Jaguars now lead 24-6.
This whole second half has been a better played football game by both teams, really. Kennedy's last march was their best.
Jefferson's been executing all second half. They've got the passing game going here as well. They got the typical bomb to Manny Montgomery. His numbers are still going to be a little bit down versus his average, just 2 catches for 66 yards, but he's made some big plays as we send it down to Paul Fournier. Paul?
Hey guys, I just walked over and talked to Roosevelt Cage on the Jefferson sideline after halftime. I was surprised Tim even let me over there. But I checked with him, and he had a knee injury. A couple players just kind of fell awkwardly on his knee on that last play. So I think the trainer said he was done, and he got kind of upset because there was 3:34 when he said that, and he said, "There's still plenty of game, guys. I want to go back out there," but they most likely will elect to not let him go back out onto the field tonight. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, I think that would be the safe play, especially given the score of this game right now. But congratulations to Roosevelt for his first career 100-yard rushing performance for Jefferson.
And you know he's going to say, "I want to be in there."
Of course.
Which is great. That's what you want him to say.
And if it was a tie score, who knows? He might return, but he doesn't really need to at this point. So how about Jefferson in all 3 phases? We've seen offensive. They struggled a little bit at times, albeit credit to Kennedy. They have a very good defense. Defensively, allowing just 1 touchdown. And then you chip in on special teams. You block an extra point. You kick a field goal of your own. So Jefferson really executing in all 3 phases. I think the blemish for the Jaguars has to be the 3 turnovers.
Exactly. Time of possession here in the second half is, I don't know the stat, but it's well in favor of Jefferson.
Yeah. And they lead 24-6 with just over 2 minutes left. Kennedy marched down and scored on their last drive, trying to do it again. Here's a pump and go, and it's a little bit too far for Jake Husting, who had a great last drive. Jefferson rolling over Manny Montgomery over the top into double coverage on Husting.
Not too far from getting a pick there. McDonald has thrown the ball well here in the second half.
Yeah, much better numbers here in the second half. He had just 4 completions in the first half for 20 yards, but he already has 48 yards and a touchdown here in the second half. Second and 10. McDonald again to the air. Wants the slant to Lynch. What a catch by Connor Lynch, and he's got the first down.
That is really a good catch. It's a good throw, and he went up and just took it away. That's a great catch by the wide receiver.
And he broke a tackle and got the first down to stop the clock momentarily. Gain of 15 for Kennedy.
That's caught in the hands up high. That's a great catch.
Justin Seal was right there, but credit Lynch. McDonald again sees some room up the middle, takes a big hit, almost was able to stay on his feet as he reaches midfield. And Kennedy, very rare for them, going hurry up here with under 2 minutes left. Now under 90 seconds, McDonald takes the shotgun snap, rolls out left, fires, accurate throw on the run. It's a first down for Hanspard. He's inside the Jaguar 40, and that'll stop the clock again. One of the toughest throws to make for a right-handed quarterback is when you're rolling left, but that one was right on target for McDonald as Jefferson takes a timeout.
McDonald has really had a nice second half, throwing in and running the show.
That has to give Kennedy some confidence. Their upcoming schedule at Apple Valley next week. Remember, Jefferson went down there. They had the lead in the fourth quarter, but Valley scored twice to win 28-21. We will see them for the final time at home against Chanhassen on October 12th. And then they have that Wednesday game and a rivalry game at Richfield to close the regular season. Jefferson remaining schedule. As we mentioned earlier, Armstrong at home next week, then their final road game at Chaska on the 12th. Very difficult finishing stretch. They have Benilde on that Wednesday game to close the regular season. So how about that? You finish with 6A Armstrong, and then a road game at Chaska, and then Benilde. I know they've lost a couple this year, but that's a very talented team.
That'll be a challenging schedule. You were right.
And, of course, we will go into district playoffs for both teams. We'll talk more about that in our final 3 weeks of the regular season, where both teams currently shake out and some of the possibilities. We start moving down the stretch here. Always happens so quickly in the high school game in the fall. McDonald, little room up the middle. There's a flag down. Thrown right at one of the Kennedy offensive linemen.
Yeah, in the area where holding is going to happen.
D9, Nick Martindale.
And there is the penalty on Kennedy, number 9.
Penalty flag.
So brings the ball back close to midfield. A minute 12 left. Kennedy, last-ditch effort to try to get some more points on the board, maybe get an onside kick. As Eric Dooms realizes he was about 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage and backed up. Second down. McDonald over the middle, caught again. And it's Connor Lynch again. He got the penalty yardage back.
Those are two impressive catches, both of them in the hands.
Lynch, third catch for him tonight. That makes this third down a lot easier. Only second down, 2nd and 10. McDonald wants to run. He's sprinting toward the sidelines, and he gets out of bounds after a short gain, but it stops the clock, more importantly, for Kennedy.
Hats off to Kennedy and that coaching staff. There's no give up in those guys. They're playing hard and doing all they can.
Both sides of the field. McDonald there, the awareness. He knows don't cut it too close. He made sure he got out of bounds. And we've seen that for Kennedy this year. They don't give up. They've scored 75% of their points on the season in the fourth quarter. Jefferson takes a second timeout. They still have one left. There's some pride on that Jaguar sideline, too. They don't want to give up any more points to Kennedy in this game.
You're right.
Even if it looks like a win at this point. 3 scores, not going to happen in 35 seconds.
It's been a good spectator game. A number of big plays and both teams playing hard. The ball control of Jefferson has pretty much turned the tide here in the second half.
And that's something, if they can get that ground game going consistently with the weapons they have on the edge, that's going to be a very dangerous team. Now, can they do it against some of those upper echelon teams that they're going to face in the final 3 weeks? That's what we're going to find out and learn about the Jaguars over the last month of the season.
Hopefully Roosevelt Cage is okay and able to come back.
Yeah.
I hope it's not a bad injury.
I mean, if he's begging to come back in there, I can't imagine it would be that serious. Usually you know if it's that bad as a player.
That's right.
Here's 3rd and 8 for Kennedy. McDonald flushed, flips it out. Barber has it. He's got some space. Sprints toward the sideline, and he's got the first down and out of bounds. At the 25-yard line, a gain of 10 for Barber. Looked like McDonald wanted to run, but again, keeps his eyes up, coach, and finds a wide open Barber.
McDonald makes a lot of things happen because he's so quick and he's such a good athlete. He's able to move around back there and find receivers.
Down to 27 seconds, but a fresh set of downs for Kennedy. Closing out this game strong offensively. McDonald had a late touchdown pass a week ago. Did the same a little bit earlier here in the fourth quarter. Jefferson has 4 safeties. See that, coach? I don't know what you would call them position-wise, but they got 4 guys back there at about the 3-yard line.
They're 4 across, and
Ball
they're
start.
definitely in prevent defense. They'll let you catch one short and then get everybody to the football.
They will.
You know, because the clock's going to hurt them.
Now, Coach Carlson's probably saying, guys, the last 2, they've been able to reach the sidelines. We need to tackle them in bounds, please, and the game's pretty much over.
Yep.
Four wide receivers and an H-back for Kennedy here in an empty backfield. McDonald looking deep. There's a lot of coverage. He floats it out to Barber. It's dropped. Might not have been the worst thing in the world. I don't know if he would have made it to the sideline.
I don't know if he would have gotten to the sidelines. You're right.
And he certainly wasn't going to pick up the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 15. Correction, 2nd and 15. Good pressure with just a 3-man rush there for Jefferson.
Yep. I think Smiley getting some heat on the quarterback, too.
Brian Smiley, number 33. Good length, 6'3", 180-pound senior. Been one of the better athletes for the Jaguars the last couple of years. McDonald, they see that formation, so the slant is wide open. Jefferson lets them catch it. Ortiz is trying to get to the sticks. He's going to be short, and that might be the final play of the game as there's under 10 seconds now. Kennedy trying to line up and spike it, Final couple of seconds, and that's it.
It's going to be too late.
Jefferson wins the Battle of Bloomington. We don't know if it's going to be the final ever Battle of Bloomington, but a significant victory for the Jaguars nonetheless here in 2018. Final score 24-6 as the Jaguars took a one-possession game at halftime and stretched that lead. Credit Kennedy, though, coach, coming back with a strong fourth quarter, but Jefferson, the key for them tonight, they didn't have the passing game. That was our key matchup, except for one play, really, that bomb to Montgomery. Kennedy's secondary was solid. And by the way, they had 3 interceptions of their own to kind of negate that touchdown pass. So they kind of won that battle, but where Jefferson really won this game, their running game, the offensive line up front, Roosevelt Cage over 100 yards. That was the difference for the Jaguars tonight.
Exactly right. And we haven't been able to do that much this year. So a good night for Jefferson's offense. And great to see Isaiah Watts back on the field and really moving well. And also fun to see Roosevelt Cage have a big night.
Kennedy did some great things. Their defense was solid as always, Coach. They forced the 3 turnovers. We talked about that key to the game. Kennedy certainly won that statistic. They did some nice offensive things throughout the game. McDonald, I think, had his best passing game as an Eagle for sure in this one. They got a touchdown to Houston, but again, the struggle for Kennedy, even with all those good things, they weren't able to, unlike Jefferson, they weren't able to be consistent on the ground. And as we see so often in all levels of football, being able to run or stop the run is such a big difference maker.
When they opened up with that 56 or 58-yard run, I thought, wow, this is going to be something. And then we pretty much so were able to shut them down after that in the running game.
So Jefferson wins it tonight 24-6. We'll take a quick break. Plenty more on the post-game show here in the Battle of Bloomington on BEC-TV.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Back here, the Battle of Bloomington postgame show, 24-6. Jefferson gets the win. They are now 2-3 this season. Kennedy falls to 0-5 alongside former Jefferson and Kennedy coach Stan Shea, Josh Powers. Coach, let's start first on the Kennedy side. They didn't get the win tonight, but they played Jefferson very competitive. We saw their defense highlighted throughout the game, making 3 turnovers and making some big plays. It made things difficult for Jefferson all throughout the game, and that's a credit to the Eagles.
Exactly. One thing, a John Anderson coach team will never quit. They played hard, and I know when they went at halftime, they were excited about coming back out and making it a game in the second half. And I think as the game went by, the first half, a lot of mistakes by both teams. Second half, better played by both teams, especially offensively. Jefferson's offense moved the ball well, and Kennedy had a couple of nice marches here at the end. So that's a credit to both of them.
Yeah, and we know about the Kennedy defense, but I think their best offensive performance of their season so far, they were able to move the ball through the air, which we haven't really seen. And more importantly, Coach, they didn't make the kind of turnover mistakes that have plagued them through the first half of the season.
That's right. McDonald made a bunch of real nice plays here in the second half, and Lynch, a couple of great catches. Hats off to Kennedy for playing hard right to the end when things didn't look good for him.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights here from the Battle of Bloomington 2018, a special one because we don't know when the next time these two teams will play. We'll get back to the highlights, but first we hand it down to Paul Fournier. Paul?
Thanks, guys. Coach Carlson, you just got done celebrating with your team. What does this win tonight mean?
You know what? I take every win. You know, I love every win. Obviously, this one is sweet. We know that, and we knew Kennedy's going to be strong, and they were. You know, they're a tough team. Their wins will come. They just will. It's a credit to their group and John. And you know, again, they threw us some curveballs here and there, and they made some nice special teams plays. But I told our kids 35 years ago is when Lincoln closed, and I went to Jefferson, and I've been almost a part of 35 of these games now, and you know, I'm glad it's staying home. Glad it's staying home.
After the game during the handshakes, you went over to Kofi Beckley from Kennedy and kind of talked to him separately. What did you say to him?
Yeah, he's a heck of a. I just told him he's a heck of a football player. You know, he's a stud, and we had to plan around him, plain and simple. And I told him keep his heads up. You know, keep the other kids' heads up, because they'll get their wins. You know, just stay positive, and it gets tough. It gets to be a grind, and I know that. But you know, I don't know Kofi personally, but I know what kind of football player he is, and I like to watch him play the game of football.
You get 6A Robin Still,
Armstrong. You did this to me last year, too.
I know I did. Exactly. Next week, how do you get ready for that team?
You know what? They're gigantic. They make Kofi look small. So we got to be, you know, we'll get ready, start getting ready tomorrow, but they're a good team. They're fast. They're physical, and you know, we'll start that planning tomorrow, but our kids have to be ready. I think we came out okay injury-wise. Rosie got nicked, but I think he'll be back ready to go next week.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win, even though it was my alma mater.
Thanks, Paul. Right, Josh. Go, Josh. Go, Jags.
All right, guys, back up to you.
All right, the good-natured ribbing continues. They kind of got like a little like a bromance going down there between Paul and Tim, but Tim's certainly happy about the win, and good to see he had some nice words for Kofi Beckley because he's a heck of a player for Kennedy, too.
That's good here. Tim's a classy guy, and yeah, to watch him and Paul go back and forth, that's interesting. It's a good rivalry.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights now in the 24-6 victory by the Jaguars here in the Battle of Bloomington 2018. There wasn't a lot in the first half. If you like offense, it was scoreless until the final seconds of the first half. Jefferson missing on a deep shot there. They didn't have a lot of open receivers tonight. Kennedy played very good coverage. You see the harassment by the Eagles. They forced that fumble picked up by Peterson. One of 3 turnovers by the Kennedy secondary. Watts again hoists this one up, and it's going to be intercepted by Ortiz, one of 2 picks for him. But Kennedy couldn't get anything going offensively either. Credit the Jaguar defense. They were stout in the run game all night long, making things difficult for both Simmons and Barber. As Simmons able to pick up a few there, but Jefferson finally, right before the half, started a drive at the 40, got things going. This was Cage down to the 1 to set up Isaiah Watts for the sneak.
Nice looking offensive drive at the end of the half there.
They did rule correctly a touchdown for Jefferson with just 13 seconds left in the first half. Kennedy homecoming. We got to meet each and every one of the members, 9th grade through 12th grade. There's the king and queen doing a little dabbing. And in the second half, Jefferson started strong, and it helps when you have the leading receiver in the district, Manny Montgomery.
Manny doing his thing. You know, you said it, and you were right. He's caught deep balls almost every week. That's his trademark.
Another quarterback sneak from Watts, who accounted for all 3 Jaguar touchdowns. Kennedy getting on the board there, a touchdown pass to Houston.
McDonald with a great march, doing a nice job at quarterback, and wide receiver with a good catch.
And we saw the last field goal there tacked on by John Halaska to put the game out of reach. 24-6, the final for the Jaguars. We talked a little bit about Kennedy. Obviously, Jefferson, they won the game tonight. But before we get into Jefferson, back down to Paul Fournier. He's with Kennedy head coach John Anderson. Paul?
Thanks, Josh. Coach Anderson, you guys played great in that first half. Kind of talk about what happened in that first half that made you guys so good.
Our defense played great. They've been playing great all season. You know, they gave up 1 play today. You know, offense, we put them in a bad spot for most of the whole game. Or, you know, my hat's off to Coach Williams. You should be talking to him. You know, his side did a way better job than us on offense today. You know, they put us in a position to be successful.
We talked to a couple of the fans, and they said Eagles never quit, and we saw that at the end. What does that mean as a coach to you to see your players not quit out there?
You know, there's time on the clock. The score is at a reasonable spot where we can, if magic happens, it happens. So we go for it. And we got one there late in the fourth, and we didn't have enough timeouts. They burned enough too much clock, and we gave it our best shot. And it wasn't good enough for tonight, but we're gonna regroup and get ready to go for Apple Valley next week.
I saw Mr. McDonald kind of limping around, and he kind of comes right back in. Talk about what he brings to this team.
Jeff's got a great heart. Kids love Jeff. He's a hardworking kid. He's going to stick his nose in there every time, and he's unafraid to take a hit. So he's a great guy.
And I have to ask you, because we have Stan upstairs, do you have anything fun you want to say or embarrassing you want to say about Stan?
Stan Shea is one of the greatest persons I've ever met in my life. I am who I am because of him.
All right, Coach, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Up to you guys.
All right, some kind words from Coach Anderson to you, and I think he said the same thing last year. He said he wouldn't be who he is today without you. What does that mean to hear one of your former players say those things about you?
John Anderson's such a classy young man, and having him being both the AD and the football coach, it's great for kids. It's great for Kennedy, and he's you watch their team tonight, never quit and keep on fighting to the end. It's a credit to him. You'd like your son to be coached by John Anderson.
And Jefferson does get the win tonight. So, Coach, they were able to get the running game going. That was the difference for them tonight versus some past weeks where they had to rely on the passing game. And it was great to see when the passing game wasn't clicking on all cylinders because of the great defense Kennedy was playing. Jefferson was consistent enough on the ground to move the chains.
I think the game tapes are going to show tomorrow that the offensive line at Jefferson made some great blocks and did a nice job. And Roosevelt Cage did a great job of reading blocking and also running hard. You can just see him improve week to week.
And then on defense for Jefferson, anytime, doesn't matter who you're playing, anytime you give up 6 points, defense has done their job, and they did a good job tonight.
Yep, that front three did a great job, and a lot of Kennedy's offense is running sideline to sideline. Pursuit was good. The linebackers are running the football, and I think we tackled better than we have for a while.
And Battle of Bloomington 2018 is over. We don't know when the next Battle of Bloomington will be played, so how special was it tonight to witness this game?
Hard to believe it's the last one for a while. I hope the next one that we play again is soon.
Yeah. All right, well, Jefferson keeps the trophy for now. They win the Battle of Bloomington 24-6, the final, as they defeat Kennedy on homecoming tonight. For Paul Fournier, for our entire crew, for Coach Stan Shea, I'm Josh Powers saying good night from Bloomington Stadium.